Welcome into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you. We're out here at TPC Southwind, day 2 of the FedEx St. Jude Championship, and a lot of golf already in the books. A lot of groups still out there trying to finish their second round before we get into the weekend. A lot of fun golf. It's been a good atmosphere. A lot of people out here today on a Friday. Still hot, but I said earlier I didn't think today was as bad as yesterday. They were close, but not as bad today. We're here at the Hub on 18. Make sure you come in here and stop by. You still have chance to register to win some Tiger football tickets for that game against Troy. We'll be giving those out. We'll be drawing winners for that a little bit later, about 5:30 or 5:45. But a busy show today, a lot to get into. Brett, how are you this afternoon?
Brian, I'm doing great, and you're right. It has been a fun day. Very busy. I would say crowds today double yesterday.
Yeah,
would that be safe?
Certainly.
You know, we don't have an exact number. It's not like you're going through a turnstile at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium or at AutoZone Park or even FedEx Forum. But we got eyes, and we can tell. Yesterday's crowd was good. Today's crowd is great.
Yeah, no. It's been a great crowd today, and I was out there earlier following a group, and I was on 17, and here coming up towards 13, they were on 12. They were finishing up on 12. Was Scotty and Xander.
Here they come.
And that group that was following them was massive. You had people trying to get ahead of them and try to go over to 13 and get a spot close before they even attempted a putt on the green on 12 just to try to get a good spot because of all the people following them. But definitely a lot of really good groups to follow, a good leaderboard that we have right now. And so it's been a lot of fun golf.
It has been. I caught up with Victor Hovland for about his last 8 holes, and he finished with a 63, and he was he was cooking.
Yeah.
And I saw him birdie 17. It puts you way ahead of the field.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it got him back in the tournament. He's a guy that's trying to find something all year. Sure. Again, you ain't had a bad year if you're in this event.
Of course.
But for his lofty standard, especially the way last year ended, I don't think he thought he was going bagel this year for winning a tournament. He has yesterday a 70, today a 63. Robert McIntyre, he's at 7 under, 67 yesterday, 66 today. But Denny McCarthy, his 63 gets him into a share of the lead with Hideki Matsuyama. Yeah. They're both at 11 under. Hideki Matsuyama, 65 yesterday, 64 today. Tomorrow, we've been asked by the tournament to let the word get out, and we will repeat it a couple times tomorrow. 9:30 to 11:30 will be the start times, and it will be split tees 1 and 10 for impending weather tomorrow afternoon. They want to get the play in. So if you were planning on kind of a 10 to 5 day out here tomorrow, it's not going to be the case.
Right.
You got to get out here earlier, and play will wrap up, and then TV you'll be watching the rerun. So if you're going to see it in person, you got to be out here.
That's absolutely right, and so it'll be a little bit different tomorrow, but that's all right, and definitely want to try to get all of this in before we get any weather or anything like that. We talked about it. It's been a hot one. I don't know necessarily if I thought, because I told you, we were talking about it before the show, I mentioned it at the beginning of the show, that I think yesterday was worse than today is. I don't know if that is real or if it's just the fact that I had more sunscreen today. Because, Brett, and I'm sure you've been there before, I don't know how you burn or tan or whatever, but
I burn, peel.
So it. You get out there, you don't have much sunscreen, you can just feel your skin burning as it's happening.
You can.
You're just like, all right, this is not fun. And so that was me yesterday. Today has been a little bit better. But it's hot out there, and so you got to stay hydrated and get your water for sure. But
I thought today was a little cooler. And
there's a little bit of a breeze out there.
I swear I could find shade in a shockingly a south wind.
Sure.
They didn't name it north wind, and it's for a reason.
That's right.
It always comes out of the south, especially this time of year. And I it wasn't autumnal, but it was comfortable. It was bearable. Now you could get out on the concrete in the direct heat. And you're thinking, I got to get to that shady spot again.
Yeah.
But it is hot, and we knew we would have a challenge. We got so lucky up till last year. We were out here in 19 and 2020, 21, and 22. Last year we had 2 or 3 days of it, and this year looks like we're going to have at least 2.5 to 3 days of it. Sunday looks really, really nice.
Yeah, it absolutely does, and so it should be a fun weekend, but definitely some good groups. I've followed from 1 to about 8 Ludwig Aubert, and Wyndham Clark, that group, which was a fun group to watch. Now, here's the thing.
Aubert better be lathered up in sunscreen.
Yeah, he definitely. Now, we got to remember, he did attend college at Texas Tech, so he is a little bit familiar with Southern heat. But, yes, from where he's from, like I said, one of the first videos I saw of him playing golf in the snow. But I told you this before we started. I've been out on the course most of the day, and I got done. I did a spot with Dave at about 10:45. Right after that, I went out and started watching golf, and probably at about 1:15, phone dies. And let me tell you something, Brett.
We can't live without it.
Well, and especially
and no wagers.
Well, those two are great points, Brett. But when you have to be somewhere at 3 o'clock to do your job, and you're on the middle of a golf course,
right,
and you have no idea what time it is.
Gone.
It was bad. So I'm walking. I'd watch a couple holes, and then I'd find somebody. Go, excuse me, can you tell me what time it is? And they'd tell me. I go, okay, I probably have it around this time.
There are a lot of charging stations on the course. I'm surprised you didn't find one.
I wasn't really looking for one. I'm sure I walked by plenty, but I didn't really want to stand there and charge.
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted to follow that group, and so I just said I'll just rely on the great volunteers that are out here, and I'll just ask them what time it was. And so at about, I think I got my last one. They said it was 2:09. I said, okay, probably about time. I think I was on 8, and I was like, probably about time to start heading up there. But it has been a really, really fun day at the golf course. And,
we got here early.
We
Both
did.
of us
we
got
did.
here pretty
yeah,
early.
I got here about 9:15, 9:30ish. And so we've been out here and seen a lot of golf.
I got here about that time. All right, you ready for my own course banner?
Okay.
So today, run in. I know I can use it. I can throw his name out there. The great Bill Rhodes at AutoZone. I'm pretty sure Bill is on the UT Board of Regents. So we're visiting, and we're talking about football.
There you go.
And he's a big Tennessee Vol fan. And I said, well, the Vols are going to be good. He said, yeah, it's really going to be Nico driven. Mm-hmm. And with that, I said, can you help me with the correct pronunciation? Yeah. He said, yeah, it's Nico.
Hey, I mean, I love that. That's the way I've been approaching it.
And we both fell out. It was Yogi Berra moment. He said, yeah, here's how you pronounce it, Nico.
That's hilarious. Yes, I am excited, though, for the start of football season where, the professionals in the booth that are, have asked multiple different people pronunciations on names. They can say it on television, and then I'll try to learn it. And maybe –
you know who had it down at SEC Media Days? Richard Cross.
Richard Cross, you're absolutely. I remember somebody
professional
TV
had
announcer. It. Yes, I'm trying to think. Once I start hearing it,
I need to see it phonetically. I don't need to hear it. I want to see it phonetically.
Yeah,
because I got to quit saying just Nico.
Yeah, it's going to be a while before I'm able to switch over.
But Bill had me rolling with that.
Trying to pull up their schedule by OU week. That's their fourth game of the season.
Yeah.
By their OU week, I'll have it down.
Also, I do it every year on Friday.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to do my logos.
Okay.
How quickly I could check off now all 16 in the SEC.
Yeah.
Easy to check off Tigers.
Of course.
And unbelievably, and I'm not saying they're not here. I'm just saying I have quickly got to 10, then got to about 13. Still haven't seen Kentucky, Vanderbilt, and A&M.
You saw South Carolina?
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. Early
you saw Texas?
Early in the day. A big, body T-shirt with Texas.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting.
And a lot of Tigers. Saw a Notre Dame. A lot of Arkansas State, including the athletics director at Arkansas State, Jeff Perrington, and his wife here.
Wow, that's great. A lot of people out here excited for football, and a lot of people wanting to talk football because, like we said, last year was a little bit different. It was a couple of weeks until the start of football. Now, we get done with this weekend. You have one more school or one more
Tomorrow's
work
1 week.
And then, we're watching football, so it's definitely exciting.
The countdown's easy. Today's 8, tomorrow 7.
Crazy. Brett, where did the time go? I don't. Feels like yesterday we were talking about plans for SEC Media Days,
right.
And now we're talking about kickoff. I don't understand it.
Here it is, and then that September, October, November, December, the fastest 122 days
the Burr
of the year.
months, as
the Burr months.
John Harden likes to say. So it's definitely a lot of good stuff, and man, I can't wait for the football. And then for a lot of people, tonight, I believe, Jamboree night for high school football, and
It
so
is.
we'll have a lot of high school football starting next week, and so it's football season, Brett.
Next week, I know there are games on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Wow, yeah. So a little bit of everything.
And I think we'll ask John Varlas this. John's going to visit with us. I know you listen to him every Friday morning with Greg and Eli. He always gives us some of his time at the golf tournament, and I will ask him. Whitehaven used to do a great triple header.
Oh, wow.
On the first Saturday of the high school season.
Interesting.
Because I went one year.
Yeah.
And, man, you talking about sunburn.
Oh, I believe it.
It was record-setting.
I believe it.
But worth it at Whitehaven.
Yeah.
The best concession stand grilled cheeseburger in sports.
Oh, yeah. No, I believe that.
And the parents there and the band parents and football team so proud of what they've created at Whitehaven and with that atmosphere and that legendary stadium.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I have not had any of the food from their concession stand, but we played a game there when I was in high school, and standing on the bench, I can't remember if I was a sophomore or junior, and I could smell it, and it smelled delicious. So I believe that it's really good. It was not pretty.
Yeah.
It was not pretty at all. They had a really good team at the time.
They always do,
and had a lot of guys go D1 from that team. But no, it's been a lot of good stuff out here. I know a lot of people excited for the college football. You mentioned it. The leaders, Hideki Matsuyama at 11 under, Denny McCarthy, who's been leading most of the day. He was one of the earlier groups to tee off this morning, and he really took advantage of maybe the little bit of a cooler weather out there, not as hot as it is.
Look who's lurking around.
Yeah, and well, those guys are always
the gold medalists.
I mean, Scheffler right now 9 under. He's alone at 4. Sam Burns is one spot ahead of him in 3rd. So, yeah, I mean, those guys just feels like it. They're lurking right there behind. It feels like by the end of today, really tomorrow is when they're going to make their jump and be at the top of this thing.
Sure feels like it. I would say right now I would take Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah. I don't think that's a bad bet at all. I mean, he's right there, and he's a guy that at any time, whether it's first round or fourth round, he can go out there and
did the phone
dominate.
Disaster knock you out of any wagers?
No, I placed all my wagers when I got here this morning.
You're in good shape?
I'm in good shape. I've got. Let's see. Let's go take a.
We rolling into money?
We have. Wow. All right. Wow. Look at us, Brett. I don't know what just cashed in, but something big just cashed in. Okay. So here's what we got. So we had Aaron Rye, the guy we bet on yesterday. We went back to the well today. He gets us a win. So that was nice.
He shot 66.
Good round for him. Connor's guy, Tom Kim. I don't know what he finished
64.
with. A 64. Okay. So he beat Cam Davis. And so that was another win we had. We have Wyndham Clark right now over Ludwig Aubert. We have Peter Molinati over Minwoo Lee. And then we have Nick Dunlap over Jonathan Vegas. So
you're looking good on every
all right.
every wager.
What a day. Let's go.
Yeah.
We're feeling good.
Did anything at all last night on Eagles and Patriots?
No, I didn't.
Did you watch any?
Brett, I'll be completely honest. Usually, even if I don't watch the game, I will go back and watch the replay.
You missed nothing.
I didn't watch a second of it. I looked at the stats for a quick second, saw that nothing was really going on. And
2-point Eagle conversion with just seconds to play to avoid overtime. They win.
Wow, how about that? So at least a fun ending, that's for sure.
Nobody wanted overtime.
No. Well, and that's the thing. I mean,
that should be a rule.
Well, sometimes I've seen, Brett, in preseason when it's supposed to go to overtime, they just say, forget it.
We're not going to overtime.
We're
going home.
We'll say it's a tie. Good work. We'll see y'all in the regular season.
But you could feel that coming. You feel the Eagles. Well, we got to try our 2-point plays.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, well, that's a good point, I guess, to do it. Now, I will tell you this. You asked about the phone knocking me off. So I mentioned I have Wyndham Clark over Ludwig Aubert. And sitting there, you kind of lose
Aubert's even.
He's even on the day. What is my guy, Wyndham Clark?
Wyndham Clark is 2 under.
Wow, so he's turned it around. He started the day 1 over.
No, I'm sorry. He's even for the day as well.
Okay, cool. We can work with that. So I'm watching. You kind of lose track on where you're at, what they're shooting, and usually the phone's real handy. You can just take a peek. Can't do that with a dead phone. Risky to have a dead phone on a golf course. I felt like lost. I really didn't know what was going on. But it's been a really, really fun day. I also wanted to bring this up, Brett, and I saw this yesterday, and I was following this group, and I noticed it, and I said, that's really cool. And then I kind of forgot about it, and Doug Bell asked him after his round, Matthew Pavon is using a custom bag this week. It's like a black and red bag, and the whole theme of it is St. Jude. And so Doug Bell asked him after the round, why'd you go with the smaller bag? Is it because of the heat? You with your caddy, or is this what is? And he just said, it's a great cause we're playing for this week with St. Jude,
nice.
and I just feel so lucky that I'm able to be out
spreading
here.
Spreading that word to a country.
Exactly, absolutely. And so it's really cool just walking around and seeing guys like that are have the bags like that. I think I was just reading on the commercial appeal. I think Hideki Matsuyama is doing some sort of donation for every birdie he has to St. Jude. A lot of the guys wearing the pins somewhere on their hat for St. Jude. So it is really, really cool to see, when these guys really highlight what St. Jude does.
By any chance, were you listening to Doug Bell's call of Hovland's birdie putt on 17?
No, I wasn't.
I was standing right by him, so I got it. I didn't have to listen to it on PGA
You got it
Tour.
live. How about that?
I got it right there, about a 25-footer. His call was great,
wow,
too.
That's awesome. Yeah, he's been great. I've been listening to him yesterday. I listened to him a little bit today as well. He's been great on their coverage over on PGA Tour Radio. But let me set up today's show before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30, Alan Bell from the AB3 and Driving the Line. He'll join us to talk some wagering. We'll have to talk some preseason football, maybe see if he likes anything in the preseason over the weekend. Also, Major League Baseball. It's Players Weekend, Brett, so all the players will have nicknames on the back of their jerseys and all of that. So we'll talk a little bit.
How in the world did Willie Mays play forever without say "Hey Kid" on the back of his jersey?
That's a great question, Brett. Maybe we should ask Alan that. But we'll get some bets from Alan in our next segment. 3:45. We'll get to a Sissy's Log Cabin leaderboard update. At 4 o'clock, Bruce Marshall from Vegas Insider, CBS Sports, and BAMSports.net. He'll join us. We'll talk some more football with him. We'll talk some baseball with him, get some more bets with Bruce. At 4:30, Rex Hoggard from the Golf Channel. He joined us yesterday at 4:30. Nice enough to join us again today to wrap up the week out here in Memphis. Obviously, we'll go through the weekend, but our week, I guess I should say. 4:45, we'll get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, John Varlas from the Daily Memphian. He will be with us at the table. We'll talk a lot of golf with him. He's been out here watching the golf, so we'll talk about that with him. Might get into a little bit of high school football.
The only time we poach him from Greg and Eli all year.
You're absolutely right, but we got to talk to him while we're out here at the golf tournament. We'll talk to him at 5 o'clock.
And I asked permission before I poached.
There you go. And then at 5:30, we'll get to our final Sissy's Log Cabin look at the leaderboard. Then at 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Taco Bell Crunch Time. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. They've got so many deals over there at Family Leisure, so make sure you get over there. It might be hot today, but that weather about to get cool as fall is right around the corner. They've got the world's biggest spa sale going on right now, so save thousands on in-stock hot tubs ready for delivery. Spa starting at $28.99. Cold plunges starting at $39.99. Swim spa starting at $17,499. Don't forget about they've got the special financing still available. Huge discounts on all in-stock above-ground pools, too. All patio furniture, it's priced to move. So head over to Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
Produced by Connor Dacus. He's Brian. I'm Brett. We're Sports Time. We go till 6 o'clock, and we want you to come by and visit with us at TPC Southwind at 18th and Main. That's what it says outside in the hub at 18th and Main. And we're always in our Family Leisure Studios, wherever we are. In this hour, brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis. We also want you to join us at 901-360-8255 at the Sissy's Log Cabin text and talk line. All our guests will appear on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line at 901-360-8255. Sponsor of this hour, our good friends at Lexus of Memphis, the one and only Lexus dealership in town at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2024 models and always special leasing options. Call them at 901-334-9673, but stop by the one and only Lexus dealership in town at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2024 LS500. You'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. Online at LexusOfMemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day has got to be day 2 at the FedEx St. Jude Championship here at TPC Southwind. Denny McCarthy and Hideki Matsuyama both 11 under, leading the way. Denny McCarthy shooting a 7 under 63 in round 2. He teed off early this morning and had the lead very early in the morning. Hideki Matsuyama started a little bit later, but has played really well. A 6 under 64 in round 2 for him. Sam Burns only 1 stroke behind them. He's in the clubhouse shooting a 7 under 63 today as well. And then there's Scotty Scheffler, only 2 back, 9 under. He's done for the day. He was 5 under today in round 2. Bobby McIntyre, Brett's guy, he's at 7 under. Nick Dunlap also at 7 under. We knew it was going to be big names all over the place with it being the top 70, but it really looks like it's going to be the heavy hitters up there towards the top as we get to the weekend, and that's what everybody wants. Everybody wants Scotty and Xander and Rory and those guys to be hovering around the top, and they're right there. So it looks like it's going to be a really fun weekend. We'll see how today finishes off for round 2, and then we'll be to the weekend where it really matters.
I know you're right that most of the patrons, the crowd, the gallery, they want those heavy hitters. But low man wins.
You're absolutely right.
And what is maybe not such a big heavy hitter in 2024, in 2026 he is, and he got it started in Memphis.
That's exactly right, and that would be great. I mean, we talk about all these young guys that have played so well on the tour, and maybe one of those guys is able to snatch, and maybe one of those smaller names. All these guys are great. They're top 70. But you're right. I think anybody that wins, people should be really happy with, because you're right. It's either going to be one of those big guys or maybe one of those guys that wins here and really gets them in a groove moving forward.
I wish we had that breaking news sounder, because I interrupt my top story of the day with breaking news. I interrupted with breaking news being at a place big number of the day from a great source early in the week. Jordan Spieth and his wife donated $500,000 to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
Wow. Shout out Jordan Spieth.
How nice.
That's incredible. Wow.
And he got it. Phil Cannon pushed for a sponsor's exemption for 17-year-old Jordan Spieth to play back then, and I don't think he ever forgot it.
Wow. That's awesome.
How about that? My top story, I don't know how to top that. My top story, no cut line, but 36-hole halfway point. We're approaching it at Red Hot TPC Southwind. Again, it's mid to late August.
Sure.
We kind of knew this, and the crowds are great today, and it's rocking in here. Plenty of good stories out on the course. You saw some, I saw some. Everybody's been able to enjoy that today. But it does feel like, look out, here he comes, and you got to keep an eye on Scotty Scheffler wherever he is. But gold medal winner Scotty Scheffler, he's at 65 today at 9 under. Gold medal winner in 2016 at Rio, Justin Rose, a pair of 66, he's T5. So the Olympics, it's stuck. Yeah. It's working. And it will grow through the years, and it's impacting Memphis.
No, it absolutely is. You're right about that. And, definitely some good golf today.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day, I actually just saw this, so more breaking news. How about that? It's not as good as your breaking news, but I guess I'll take any breaking news I can get. The Vikings have officially placed J.J. McCarthy on the injured reserve list.
Full shutdown.
Full shutdown. And as a result of that, they have signed former Panthers draft pick, former Ole Miss Rebel Matt Corral. We saw him in the UFL this year with Birmingham, a good Birmingham Stallions team.
Was beat out by the end of the year.
He was, and we saw kind of early kind of a 2-quarterback system that they were running down in Birmingham. But, towards the end of the season, he was beat out. But now getting another opportunity in the NFL with the Vikings. We'll see him at least in one preseason game, and then, we'll see what he can do in a backup role with the Vikings.
And I'll fight you if you tell me Matt's been a bust. No, he's not. He was badly injured 2 years ago this weekend. 2 years ago tonight, his foot was stepped on by a teammate, and it was they said it sounded like if you grabbed a sack of potato chips and that's what the X-ray looked like. It destroyed his foot. It's been a long time in coming back. Maybe this is what he needs to really get it kick-started for his NFL career. My not top story, college football playoff won't use conference titles as tiebreakers. Meanwhile, in the SEC, there's still no known formula for a tiebreaker to decide who gets to Atlanta for the SEC championship game. 3, 4, maybe 5 one-loss teams with several that don't play each other. I don't know how you really sort that out. Yeah. And here's why the league needs to go ahead and get a formula. Get a formula decided. Hey, Plessicky, how are you? And get a formula decided, because I will at Ole Miss. We will scream bloody murder preferential treatment.
For sure.
Or lack of preferential treatment. Sure. And in Alabama, if they don't get the Alabama treatment, they'll scream, if you ain't us, you hate us.
That's right.
If they get the preferential treatment, we'll always say Bama. We'll all say Bama privilege.
Of course.
The league's got to get that battened down and released so everybody knows. The simplest thing is everybody starts at the same starting point, and everybody knows the rules of the game. And we need to get a tiebreaker worked out.
No, I'm definitely with you on that. But that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let me remind you about all of our great sponsors that are with us this week at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Our title sponsor, Landers Ford. All of our scoreboard and leaderboard updates will be brought to you by Sissy's Log Cabin. And then all of our other great sponsors, like First National Bank and Trust, Jason's Deli, Wade Incorporated, your North Mississippi John Deere dealer, Ronnie Grisani's, Town Village Audubon Park, Banyan Tree Realtors, Wilson's Power Wash, DeSoto Honda, Jim's Place, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, and Memphis Tourism, and the Memphis Sports Council.
What a list.
A great list.
What a group.
Fantastic list. Thank all of those sponsors for being with us this week at the golf tournament. But we need to go ahead and get to a break, and when we come back, we'll talk some wagering with Alan Bell.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11, here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hello, sports fans out there. Walker Taylor here with the Germantown and Collierville Commissary. We just celebrated our 43rd year in business, and I would like to thank our fantastic customers and especially our loyal staff. Time has flown by. We now have a second location, Poplar and Houston Levy in Collierville. Catering is a specialty of ours. 50 to 5,000, no job too small, no job too big. Full service or self-service. We also have a party room in Collierville that is great for rehearsal dinners, business meetings, you name it, we'd love to have you. Also, our barbecue party packs start at $8.75 a person. Barbecue, beans, slaw, bun sauce, including serving utensils. Especially great for tailgating with football season coming up. The commissary restaurants also believe in giving back to the community. Possibly you have been approached by somebody selling a barbecue 6-pack coupon for fundraising. Cheerleading groups, church groups, anything to help a worthy cause. Holidays are near. Smoked hams and smoked turkeys will be on the pit before you know it. Come see us at Germantown and Collierville Commissary. Also check us out at commissarybarbecue.com.
The Mitsubishi Final Days of Summer sales event is going strong at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. So come get bang for your buck with 420 total range and 64 combined MPGE in 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV. We Gossett $34,770 or $299.98 a month. And check out 2024 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. We Gossett at $27,245 or $349 a month. Plus, you'll never go wrong with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Get to Gossett Mitsubishi today at 1870 Covington Pike and 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com. That's Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
RZO 35,297 MSRP 47,470 36-month 30,000-mile lease 44,53 due at signing 1,095 acquisition fee 25 cents per mile excess wear and tear. Eclipse RZO 65,450 MSRP 28,745 includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
When you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place: the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance Team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Granger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call, hit Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee is honored to stand alongside 1,600 dedicated volunteers to make this year's annual FedEx St. Jude Golf Tournament a resounding success. Jimmy Monix Mitchell is a committee member of the Players Shuttle Committee. Jimmy, why was it important to you to become a tournament volunteer?
I love volunteering, and being here means something to me with regard to knowing that it's going to the children. Cancer has impacted my family, and just knowing that the things that we're doing, the money that's being raised is going towards cancer research, specifically for children. It warms my heart.
So what's your favorite part of being a volunteer?
I literally get to interact with every golfer because we drive them from hole 9 to hole 10. So I get to experience whether or not they're having a good day or a bad day based on how talkative they are when they get on the golf cart, and I really enjoy that.
To read more about how Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee helps our communities, please visit bcbst.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. From time to time, it's a little bit heavy over here today on 55 north through that road construction, trying to get up between McLemore South Parkway. Looks pretty good right now on 240 east from Mill Branch, all the way out to 385 as you continue out towards Collierville. A little bit of traffic over there in that construction zone at times on Sam Cooper, especially going outbound, headed back towards the interstate. Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in the Memphis area. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Scott Sportsworthy and Brian Gates.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios on the road at TPC Southwind for the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Round 2 underway, and the leaderboard looking really good right now. Just a quick look at the top. Denny McCarthy and Hideki Matsuyama both at 11 under. Sam Burns at 10 under. He's in third place. Scotty Scheffler fourth at 9 under, and then we've got both Justin Rose and Chris Kirk rounding out the top 5, both T5 at 8 under. That's a quick little Sissy's Log Cabin leaderboard update. But joining us now to talk some wagering, Alan Bell from AB3 and Driving the Line. Alan, thanks so much for joining us. Did you have any takeaways from week 1 of the preseason in the NFL last week?
Hey, first off, I appreciate you guys having me back. Good to be back with you, and I hope you guys are enjoying the golf out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, in a preseason week 1, what I've kind of figured out is that I think as the years go, I don't think the teams want to do any of this anymore. You know what I mean?
No.
I don't think I don't think they want a single thing to do with any of it. So that's kind of my takeaway. And I'm not trying to be negative about it. I just think that you very soon we'll probably see this thing cut down to maybe 1 game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, especially when we go to 18. And, Alan, it's not really conspiracy. It's just a hunch that taxed toward the conspiratorial side. I think management, ownership, telling coaches, for a lot of reasons, don't play anybody. But we want to drive the public into detesting this and begging for that 18th game. Market-driven.
That's a smart call right there. Hey, you working in Rocky Goodell's office? That's a brilliant call right there. Yeah, I mean, you know what? You're right.
I need to be at Park Avenue instead of in radio.
That's right.
My friend, you do, buddy. And that's the interesting part is that the only reason that we even have it is because it's money, right? Like, if you buy season tickets, you're paying for these games as well. So there's going to have to be a financial trade-off, and that's exactly what it is. That's a brilliant call. You're exactly right. That's what will happen. Call.
And, Alan, we miss you at the golf tournament. You know, here in Memphis today, it's 68 and almost feels like football season.
It's beautiful.
I don't know all this hot weather everybody else is talking about. It's great out here.
It's burning out here, Alan. Don't listen.
You need to bring Brian on your staff at AB3 at Driving the Line. Brian is crushing it. I've seen his bets. Tell him all the success you've had on matching up players playing each other.
We had a 3-0 day yesterday with one push on matchup bets yesterday. We've got 4 still out right now today. We already have 2 in the books, both cashed. Tom Kim and Aaron Rye both cashed today. We're looking pretty good on the remaining ones that we still have out there. But fingers crossed, we still have a lot of golf to play.
Attaboy. Look, well done. All right, so I'm going to ask you. All right, I'm going to give you 3 options here for the golf tournament for the overall winner, and you tell me what I should play. Scotty Scheffler plus 180. Hideki Matsuyama plus. Yeah.
Stop right. Stop at Scotty Scheffler.
I think that's the answer.
That's it.
I think anytime Scotty's in the field, how could you not bet him?
Yeah, a great friend of ours with the Commercial Appeal largely covers Tiger basketball. He was on another one of our shows this week, Jason Mines.
Yeah.
He said, just don't try to outsmart this. Take Scotty Scheffler.
You know what? That's a smart call right there. I like to listen to people who are intelligent. You guys know what you're doing. I'm all in on that one. Bet place. Let's go.
With how we all kind of collectively feel about the NFL, except for some funsies and maybe to settle that fix for having a little action, there's no need in the next 2 weeks of doing anything to your bankroll with college football and NFL coming up, is it?
Well, if you want to look at, a future or two, it's not a bad thing because this is where you're going to get absolute best odds, right? Like if you want to pick, teams to make the college football playoff, teams to win their division in the NFL, make the Super Bowl. Yeah, take a look there, right? But for the most part, remember, any of those futures that you bet, obviously there's a season-long amount of risk and a season-long amount of not having that money.
Right, ties your
cash
up.
There. Yeah. I mean, you could probably put it in a savings account, and make money off of it. So, yeah, I wouldn't go too crazy, but a couple of them, not always bad to play.
Yeah.
Are you knocking savings account? Passbook savings account's the only way I go, Alan.
All my boys over at Regions over here in Nashville, we're getting down with it. So there we go.
Right.
There you go. Alan, I'm curious, when you look at what happened earlier this week with J.J. McCarthy, he'll be out for the entire season now. We didn't know kind of at first. I'd heard anywhere between like 4 weeks and 12 weeks that he might be out, but now we know J.J. McCarthy will miss the entire season, but that was already kind of a quarterback battle there. They brought in Sam Darnold in the offseason. What do you think in terms of future bets for the Vikings? Because obviously they seem to like what they see in Sam Darnold, and you could kind of say Kevin O'Connell is somewhat of a quarterback whisperer, certainly a quarterback's coach. What do you think about the Vikings? Because I feel like a lot of people wanting to hop off those bets or maybe wanting to fade them now that J.J. McCarthy's injured.
Yeah, you bring up a good question because, look, I like J.J. McCarthy, and obviously we all hate, anybody to be injured like that. But, I don't think that there's a large difference between McCarthy and Darnold. And Darnold, honestly, might be the more stable option, not injury, considerations, just saying, he's been around the league. He understands it, right? And rookies have a tough time, as a quarterback, right? The tough part is this, is that the Vikings, they're going to miss Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is a better quarterback than he gets credit for at times. He put up a lot of numbers. And, I think the point production is probably going to go down offensively. They're going to have to play good defense. They're going to have to run the football. Now, the good thing for them is that they've got excellent running backs. They got a good depth chart, good running back room there. But you also have a division that's pretty darn good. The Lions aren't going anywhere. The Packers seem to be good. And the Bears are getting better. So, I don't know if this is the year. Yeah, I don't know if this is the year that I bet on Minnesota. This could be a tough one.
Alan, are there places where you can wager on Rookie of the Year? And would Caleb Williams be one of your favorites with the Bears?
Yeah, honestly, because look, all right, number one, if you're not betting a quarterback, what are you doing, right? Like, I mean, these are quarterback awards, right? And Caleb Williams is going to have every opportunity to go out there and get the job done, right? So as long as he stays healthy, I think it's an excellent look, comparatively, because it's just so difficult, like, for a wide receiver or a running back, to win one of these awards. I mean, they have to go off, right? So if you're looking at Offensive Rookie of the Year, Caleb Williams, he's your favorite right now at plus 135. Jaden Daniels, the quarterback from LSU, good option, plus 475. And then you start getting into like a guy like Marvin Harrison Jr., for Arizona, and that's, on the offensive side. But no, man, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, those are two great bets to take a look at, because if you go past the quarterback position, buddy, that is a tough bet.
Alan Bell with us from at AB3 and Driving the Line. He's with us every Friday, and next Friday he will be picking the Georgia Tech and Florida State game being played in Dublin, and other games next Saturday, including SMU's maiden voyage in the Atlantic Coast Conference as they played Nevada. Last year, I was too bullish on the Tennessee Vols. This year, I'm afraid I'm not bullish enough. I've got Tennessee 9-3. Where are you on Tennessee futures? Where are you on the Vols this year? And that important Week 2 game against NC State. That's one in Charlotte that Tennessee, I don't think they are, but they better not overlook, because Dave Doran always puts a really quality team on the field.
Yeah, well, first off, they better not overlook anybody, right? Like, you're going to have to show up. These teams can play. I'm with you. 9-3 is exactly the same spot that I have them. If you can get Tennessee over 8.5 wins, I think it's a good bet. You start looking at over 9.5, that's going to be tough. I think, Nico Lamalea is going to be a good quarterback, but he's going to have, some bumps in the road. This is going to be the first time that he's, the starter for, a season, and there are just, things that you have to work through. The good thing for Tennessee is that their defense is going to be pretty darn good, and they've got depth everywhere, right? So Josh Heupel's definitely done his job at getting bodies out there, but yeah, like you start looking at 10 wins or more, I don't know if they're that good.
I did that last year. Joe Milton set me ablaze.
Yeah, me too. Me too, man. And
now I doused myself in kerosene, and he lit the match.
There you go.
Yeah, I was laughing at on our show, people that didn't know who he was, and I was like, "You're gonna watch a guy who can throw at 900 miles an hour, and no one knows where it's going at any time."
Oh yeah. Alan, before we let you go, do you like anything in Major League Baseball tonight?
Yeah, I do, right? So I think that if you take a look at the Philadelphia Phillies going up against Patrick Corbin and the Nationals, the Phillies should tee off on Corbin. Yeah. They've got multiple players who have hit multiple home runs historically against Corbin. So if you want to play the Phillies, minus 1.5, I think that's a good bet. Or if you want to play a team total. Also, Mariners-Pirates. You get a great pitching matchup with Logan Gilbert against Paul Steen. But the total is 6.5. And there is great weather in Pittsburgh. Winds blowing directly out, very humid. If you get a hold of Paul Steen's fastball, it's going a long way. So I'm going to go contrarian. I like the over here, 6.5 of the Mariners and Pirates.
I like that a lot. I like both of those plays. I'm getting onto my book to add them right now. I mean, those are great.
Now, Alan, you have a good weekend, and remember, you can't take down the old workplace in a single weekend. It's a time play, okay?
That's right.
You know what? You're exactly right. All right, brick by brick, baby. That's how we're going to do it.
That's right. Absolutely. Alan, enjoy the weekend. Man. We'll talk to you next Friday.
Hey, appreciate you guys, man. Y'all be good. Thank you.
You got it, good dude. Thanks.
Alan Bell joining us from at AB3 and Driving the Line every single Friday to talk some wagering. We're about to get to a break here, but before we do that, I told you about our great sponsors earlier. Let me remind you about one of them. It's the first name in Memphis Italian food. It's Ronnie Grizzani's in Regalia. Get over there for lunch and try one of the Italian favorites, like the crisp, cold Miss Mary salad, a lobster tower, fried green tomatoes, or the crab stack, Monday through Saturday for lunch. And Ronnie Grizzani's also offers catering. Check out the lunch catering guide at ronniegrizzani's.com and get the Elfo special salad and Italian bread for $14 a person. Ronnie Grisani's, they'll also bring it to you. 901-850-0191. That's 901-850-0191. Pick up a pan of lasagna at Ronnie Grisani's at Regalia or check out the bulk menu at ronniegrisanis.com. Get your favorites at home. Chicken Alfredo, ravioli, Italian spinach, curbside pickup or delivery to your door, free within 4 miles of Regalia. And don't forget about the bar, especially on a hot weekend like this. Stay cool with their great cocktail list and try one of their steaks like the 8-ounce Gorgonzola and bacon-wrapped filet. Try it now and thank me later. It's also available in High Point Grocery, Super Low on Spotswood and Goodman Road, and Buster's Liquors. Make lunch or dinner easy at Ronnie Grisani's, a Memphis tradition since 1909. Let's get to a break, and when we come back, we'll give you another Sissy's Log Cabin leaderboard update.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I think a lot about golf, and when I think golf, I think Miramichi. Did you know Miramichi Golf Course offers membership? It's a great way to play more golf for less out of pocket. Their memberships run for $300 a month plus tax, and that includes unlimited rounds and range balls, no extra card fees, priority tee time booking, and discounts in the pro shop. Oh, by the way, there's no initiation fee. Miramichi green fees, they'll allow you to choose the right rate at the right time on the right day for your needs. If morning tee times are more important, you can book up to 14 days ahead of time to reserve your spot. If rate is more important to you, there are discounted evening rates available that you can choose from. You'll find the lowest rates on Tuesday through Thursday afternoons. Sometimes you just need to escape the hustle and bustle of life. Miramichi Golf Course provides just the right place to solve that need. The name Miramichi means place of happy retreat. When you need a quiet, peaceful round of golf, please make your way to Miramichi.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled, and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. Five Ash Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Vanguard is 100% client-owned, serving over 50 million investors every day. Whether you're planning for retirement, putting your kids through college, or saving up for your next adventure, Vanguard can help you set personalized investment goals. All investing is subject to risk. Vanguard is owned by its funds, which are owned by Vanguard's fund shareholder clients. Copyright 2024, The Vanguard Group, Inc. All rights reserved. Vanguard Marketing Corporation Distributor.
Make your next grill your last with a Big Green Egg. Smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all with a lifetime warranty. Save money on fuel, eating out, and replacing expensive grills that cannot match the flavor of the Big Green Egg. Ready to cook in only 10 to 15 minutes with temperatures below 200, above 700, and anywhere in between the heats. Change your at-home cooking experience for life. Go to shop.biggreenegg.com.
Price does not include licensing costs, registration fees, taxes, and dealer dock fee of $899.50, which are to be paid by the consumer. Silverado RG 377,592, MSRP $61,065, dealer discount $42.74, factory rebate $47.50, trade assistance $1,000, must trade in 2010 or newer vehicle. Track stock number RC 246,913, MSRP $23,395, dealer discount $14.03, expires 9/3/24.
Family Leisure is having the world's biggest spa set. It's happening right now. You can save thousands on in-stock hot tubs that are ready to be delivered. Family Leisure has spas that start at just $28.99. You know those cold plunges? You can get one for yourself starting at $39.99. Or how about swim spas? They start at $17,499. Plus, Family Leisure has set up special financing
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you. We're out here at TPC South winning the FedEx St. Jude Championship. We're here on 18 in the hub. Make sure you get by here. Stop by, say hello. We've also got a little more time left before we're going to draw the winners for our 4 tickets for Memphis versus Troy. So I don't know if anybody's out there that's listening that's about to come up here. Maybe you're on the course listening, or I don't know what. But if you are
out for
listening
the last
to
few
us
holes,
and you're out here, stop by and register to win.
I told you what gear I saw today that I want.
What's that?
And she probably was wearing it better than I can wear.
Oh, I know what you're saying.
Great hat.
Yeah.
And on the front it said, "Golf is dope."
I mean, I think we're right here next to the fan shop. I think they got those in there. I mean, you gotta walk over here when we're done and see if they got those in there, because I've seen a lot of Golf is Dope hats.
Have you?
Oh yeah. I think it's. I'm guessing they must be.
Bet they didn't wear it better than this one.
No, not at all. Not at all. But we got to give you a Sissy's Log Cabin leaderboard update as it's almost 4 o'clock here. A lot of guys still out on the course, but we do have a lot of guys in the clubhouse right now. 2 guys tied at the top, Denny McCarthy and Hideki Matsuyama. They're both done for the day, both at 11 under. Denny McCarthy, he was one of the first groups out this morning. He shoots a 7 under 63 to take the lead. Hideki Matsuyama, who got out a little bit later than him, he goes 6 under 64 on the day to also get to 11 under. Sam Burns, he's at 10 under. Scotty Scheffler, 9 under. Justin Rose, 8 under in 5th place. Now a 4-way tie at T6. Victor Hovland, Robert McIntyre, Chris Kirk, and Nick Dunlap, all at 7 under. The only 2 of those, Chris Kirk and Nick Dunlap, are still out on the course. Will Zalatoris, he's at 6 under. He had a really good day today, 5 under for his round 2, but certainly at the top, really competitive so far.
And the tournament within the tournament to get to Castle Rock next week and maybe ultimately get to East Lake in 2 weeks for the Tour Championship, that's ongoing. I do want to be sure and ask Rex Hoggard this, though. There's got to be a point, I don't know if it's Friday at 3:53, but at some point this weekend, you're not making next weekend even.
Sure.
You're not going on in 2 weeks. So instead of maybe hitting that utility club off the tee it high and whomp it with a driver and just see what happens.
Why not?
It's got to enter your mind.
Just let it rip.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? Yeah, I mean, that's going to be the interesting thing of how, some of these guys just approach
lay
these
up
next
or
2 days.
let it eat.
Yeah, because you're right. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there that, this tournament, these next 2 days are going to be the last days for them of the season. And so what do? Do they go out there and play it through the end, or do they just kind of go out there and let's just have fun through these next 2 days?
Victor Hovland, very much that player, entered 57th in the FedEx Cup standing. Now projected he would be 41, so that's into next weekend and certainly within shouting distance of East Lake, and would kind of recharacterize the entire year for him to win here or even propel to East Lake. And I saw him do that today after he birdied 17. He was really debating with his caddy, driver, or more of a, I don't know if it was 3 or utility club, what it was. He made the safer play and had a hanging lie kind of near where Dustin Johnson airmailed it in the walk-off of the old FedEx St. Jude Classic. And it was in that area, and you almost could sense, I couldn't have gotten any more trouble hitting my driver. What I do that for?
Sure, yeah. So, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how these guys approach the next 2 days and, what this looks like, because you're absolutely right. I don't think there are people out here, but I don't know how many people out here are walking around and going, oh, man, this guy is, he needs today to be able to get to next week, or, he needs this weekend to be able to get to next week. But you're absolutely right. I think that's the bigger story. Absolutely, because I do think that's the bigger story for a majority of this field, that kind of game inside the game of, will we be able to make it to next week and kind of be in that top 50. So definitely really competitive at the top, and we'll see. We'll give you another leaderboard update a little bit later when most of the guys are done for the day. Before we get to a break, let me remind you of our great sponsors here with us this week. Our title sponsor, Landers Ford. Our scoreboard and leaderboard updates given to you by Sissy's Log Cabin. And then all of our other great sponsors like First National Bank, Jason's Deli, Wade Incorporated, your North Mississippi John Deere dealer. Ronnie Grizzani's, Town Village Audubon Park, Banyan Tree Realtors, Wilson's Power Wash, DeSoto Honda, Jim's Place, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, and Memphis Tourism, and the Memphis Sports Council. Thank you for being with us this weekend here at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. But we need to wrap up hour number 1, and when we come back, we're talking more wagering with Bruce Marshall from Vegas Insider, CBS Sports, and BAMSports.net. He joins us next on Sports Time.
Guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Quicky's Barbecue in Cordova.
At Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, they're proud to be here for their neighbors while giving back to communities across the state throughout the year, every year. This month, they're honored to stand alongside 1,600 dedicated volunteers as they make this year's annual FedEx St. Jude Golf Tournament fundraiser a resounding success. Giving back to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, which helps treat and defeat childhood cancer, is a meaningful effort that is very close to their hearts. This year, their goal is to reach $3 million in donations for kids at St. Jude's, and they couldn't do it without the support of their amazing volunteers. To all the participants, thank you for being a part of this most important endeavor to lift up so many families across the state from right here in Memphis, Tennessee. To read more about Team Blue volunteers, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, Healthy Places, and other ways they're devoted to helping our communities, please visit bcbst.com.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Genesis Diamond's most extreme values on diamonds is coming to an end. You have until Sunday at 5 p.m. to get the price of a lifetime on a certified GIA certified diamond ring. Hey, it's Eric Hasseltine, and the response has been incredible. People have driven for hours to buy like a dealer buys. All Genesis GIA certified diamond rings are on sale. A full 20% discount off Genesis' already amazing everyday value price. I'm talking about values you never thought possible. From a half carat to 20 carat diamonds, all handpicked from maximum brands and all graded by the most prestigious gem lab in the world. Genesis has the largest GIA diamond selection you've ever seen. Rounds, ovals, radiants, cushion cuts, pear shapes, emerald cuts, princess cuts, everything you can think of. Now through Sunday, you can take advantage of this rare buying opportunity on the most gorgeous rings. Limit 1 per customer, please. Get the Genesis no middleman direct importer price, minus an extra 20% on all GIA diamond engagement rings. Now through Sunday, only at Genesis Diamonds. On Popular Perkins Extended, see store for details.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. For nearly 2 decades, we've installed some of the best roof systems across the Mid-South. To the tens of thousands of clients we've served, we are honored. So many of you call our team at Brian Elder Roofing your roofers. Our team is dedicated to serving you and keeping your family safe, dry, and mold-free. The recent hailstorms have caused massive damage, and many of these will go unnoticed for years, even though the golf ball-sized hail we just experienced in the Mid-South compromises even the best-built roof system. Whether we find damage or not, your photos are securely stored for future reference. Call Brian Elder Roofing today for a total evaluation of your entire roof system free. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. Call me.
in South Haven and Landers Ford North in Covington. We've provided over 100 new Fords to be driven by the pros at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Now they're all being sold with demo prices. That's right. Over 100 new Fords driven by the pros are being sold with demo pricing below market value. A portion of the proceeds go directly to the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. This is a once-a-year opportunity to trade up and drive like a pro while supporting a great cause. Visit LandersMemphis.com. That's LandersMemphis.com. Or come see us at Landers Ford in Collierville, Landers Ford South in South Haven, or Landers Ford North in Covington. With our Landers Easy Pass, you can get top dollar for your trade-in to help you save even more. Don't miss your chance. Reserve your demo price new Ford driven by a pro at the FedEx St. Jude Championship and lock in low APR financing. Remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Oh, yeah. Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It's cranking up pretty good over here at times. 240 east from Mill Branch. Taking that drive all the way out towards Collierville there as you get off onto 385 Billmore Parkway. Still not bad. I-40 east. We checked it just a few minutes ago from Hollywood all the way over to White Station. Sam Cooper's trying to get busy again on and off. That hadn't been too bad really in that construction this week over there on Sam Cooper right at the interstate. Havenly Showers, your curbless shower specialist. Transform your bathroom with a tub to curbless shower conversion. HavenlyShowers.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Joining the guys every Friday is college football historian and Vegas legend Bruce Marshall from Vegas Insiders, CBS Sports, and his own website, BaneSports.net. With over 30 years on Memphis radio, with Captain and Sports Talk, here's Bruce Marshall with Bryant and Brett.
Bruce Marshall joins us now from Vegas Insider, CBS Sports, and BamSports.net. Talk a little bit of everything. Bruce, I want to start off with kind of the big news out of the NFL earlier this week. Rookie J.J. McCarthy will miss the entire season with a meniscus injury. He had surgery earlier this week and will be out the entire season. What does that injury do for this Vikings team going into the season, and what does it do when you look at this team's win total and futures props, especially because we knew going into it J.J. McCarthy was not said to be the day one starter. It was very much a quarterback battle within the Vikings. What does this injury mean for that team going forward?
You know, I wonder if it's going to impact their final record much because, like you said, it looked like Kevin O'Connell was going to go with Darnold at the start.
Yeah.
But I think the plan was, you know, at some point during this year, I mean, Darnold is a full-blown stopgap, and they would go to McCarthy at some point, maybe sooner rather than later. He looked very good in his preseason debut against the Raiders last week, but, you know, this injury just sets him back. It's just, you know, psychologically, it's tough for the Vikings and their fans because there was something to look forward to. I don't know that McCarthy was going to help them that much win-loss. I think we've seen, I mean, Darnold, again, is just a stopgap. But unfortunately for the Vikings and their fans, it's going to look a lot like last year because after Cousins got hurt last year, I mean, they went Josh Dobbs and they had Nick Mullins, and it just got worse as the season went on. There might be another move that the Vikings make now before the end of the regular season, so we'll see.
Bruce, complete this sentence for me. The NFL goes through what team?
I missed that there, Brett. I'm sorry. My hearing wasn't too good there.
That's okay. I'm sorry. The NFL goes through what team this year?
Oh, Kansas City, I think, still. Although I think they still do. And the NFC is a little bit more up in the air, but I mean, Kansas City is still the team to beat. Having said that, I don't expect Kansas City to win it all this year. 3 times by three-peat. Nobody's done that since the Packers, and they were very close last year on a couple.
And that was Packers pre-Super Bowl, right?
Right. And but I still think, I mean, you've got to probably favor them. The NFC much more up in the air, I think. But somebody's going to have to step up there in the AFC and knock the Chiefs off. We'll see what can happen.
Well, you said the NFC is up in the air. What are the teams that are kind of right there at the top for you?
Well, in the NFC, I mean, you go Detroit and San Francisco obviously are there. I am not putting Dallas in there. I'm sorry. I've seen too much of Dak Prescott not deliver.
I was hoping you would say Dallas in there. It's okay.
Yeah, I just don't think Dak's going to give over the hump, and I'm not sure about the Eagles either. The team I would keep an eye on actually is Green Bay. Think about this.
Yeah.
Last year, they went into Dallas and they scored 48 in the playoff game, won that one handily. San Francisco, the next week, they had the Niners on the ropes. Carlson doesn't miss that field goal in the fourth quarter. They probably don't do worse than an overtime. They may win that game. Had they beaten San Francisco, which they darn near did, they would have had Detroit the next week. And Detroit, this is a team that Green Bay beat at Ford Field on Thanksgiving. If they beat Detroit, they would have had the Chiefs. And, oh, yes, that's the same Chiefs team that Green Bay beat the week after they beat Detroit on Thanksgiving. So my point being that Green Bay was really, really close last year. And they've got the Jordan Love thing worked out. They've added Josh Jacobs. I think they're a really interesting bet in the NFC as a team to watch. So it's tight in the NFC, I know, but I think Green Bay's got as good a shot as any. And because last year they were right there, and I don't think enough people are acknowledging that, but they really were. So keep an eye on the Packers again.
Bruce, I fell in love with Jordan Love, I'm going to say a little before Thanksgiving.
Yep.
And all through the playoffs, just gaga over every throw, off balance, wrong foot, going to his left, in the pocket, the traditional step into it throw. He's got every throw. And then the near miss in the playoffs. I think they even could have won the Super Bowl had they gotten there, but they didn't. And then I kind of sobered up a little bit, and I thought, is he this big a deal? Because there are two guys that I was that infatuated with at the zenith of their career that ended up doing nothing. Please tell me, and one by injury, one just flamed out. And the one that flamed out was Josh Freeman in those years with the Buccaneers, and then Colin Kaepernick, and it was largely injury. I thought both were on their way to being the greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL. Is Jordan Love, is he more Aaron Rodgers, or is it going to go the way of Josh Freeman?
That's a good question, Brett, and that's a good cautionary tale. My gut feel is that Love has a chance, if not quite Rodgers, but to be more towards that than Freeman or Kaepernick for sure. I will tell you, I was not quite as high on Freeman as I was Kaepernick, who I thought was about to revolutionize the game.
And he was.
Yeah, I mean, the way they were using him and the way they were using it for, the spread and the spread option and thing, I thought that was it. They had arrived at something that is going to change the way the NFL. It just didn't happen, and then Kaepernick got sidetracked. But I think Love really has a chance. Now, it's still early days, and it was only the last, month and a half of last year where we saw this, because the first half of the season, he was struggling still. But I think the upside is there. And I love getting Josh Jacobs if he can stay healthy. I mean, he's a home run back. We saw when he was good with the Raiders and he was healthy, he was there. And the Raiders got kind of sideways last year a little bit. So I think that could be a huge addition for Green Bay in the backfield this year.
Bruce, we're at the FedEx St. Jude Championship at TPC Southwind, and we know that the golf world, rightly or wrongly, it's defined by what you do in the majors. At NCAA tournament time for coaches, tell me what you did in the NCAA tournament. You can win all the games. Mark Few is a great example of it. Great coach, legendary good guy. Everybody still says, yeah, but he hadn't won it all yet. I think we're going to that in college football. Is it fair for a great player with prodigious talents like Lamar Jackson, is it fair for people to say, you got to give me something in the postseason? Is that fair?
If you want to, I think it is to a degree, Brett. If you want to get to that, top tier, to have that in your satchel. And I mean, there have been several great quarterbacks that don't have that. I mean, Dan Marino got the Super Bowl, didn't win early. Fran Tarkenton got there a couple times and didn't win. But to really get to that exalted level, to the Brady, Montana, or now Mahomes level, I think you do have to win the Super Bowl. So at some point, Lamar Jackson is going to have to do that, or he's just going to be sort of regarded, as the next tier sort of guy. Still early enough in his career, but I do think you need that extra validation to really get, rated among the all-time greats, and you need a championship for that. At least one. 2 is better. 3 is, of course, better, but you got to win at least one. And still to come for Jackson. We'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking to Bruce Marshall, he joins us every Friday from Vegas Insider, CBS Sports, and BAMSports.net. We've been talking the past couple of weeks. You've been working on college football futures. One team that I've heard a lot of people talking about this offseason, a team making their move to the Power 5, SMU. Right now, their win total sits at 8.5. Going to the ACC, what do you make of that win total for SMU set at 8.5?
I think it's a little aggressive, though I can see SMU. I can see some of the excitement there. And I think of the newcomers in the ACC, they're probably positioned to do a little bit more than Stanford. And, well, certainly than Stanford. I think Cal might end up being interesting this year. But, SMU for sure could make some noise this year. And they did some good things last year. The bowl game wasn't too good, but you saw a lot of progress made during the regular season. I think Lashley knows what he's doing. They've put a lot of money into that program. Preston Stone put up some big numbers. They like some of the transfers who came in. They've got enough people back from last year when they won, the AAC regular season there, and the championship against Tulane. So I think, they're probably an 8-4 or 9-3 team. It's going to be a schedule a little tougher this year, but they got more reason to be excited than those other newcomers in the ACC for sure.
And what a 40-year odyssey for the Ponies. A long, strange trip from death penalty to the ACC.
I know. Who'd have figured that? And how about this arrangement they've got with the ACC? They've got so much money at that school, they don't even care about participating in the, in the media rights. They just want to be in a big league, and then hoping there'll be a payoff down the road for them. So they made it really easy for the ACC to take them in there, and it's interesting. It allows them to extend their footprint. I don't know how the ACC, what's going to happen with them down the road. We've talked about this before, but SMU is kind of an avant-garde move by them and an avant-garde move by the school.
Bruce, this week the Associated Press with their preseason poll out, and most of the names familiar. It felt like the off-season standings really codified with all the way too early, then early, and now as we get closer, it didn't change very much. And last year, Bruce, fun college football season. Everybody had tons of fun, but there weren't many upsets last year. It was pretty status quo all year. I don't think it's going to be a lot of movement this year. I don't think, somebody maybe receiving votes really vaults all the way to getting in the playoffs. We're going to have more teams that are happy about going to the playoffs, but I think if you gave me about a half dozen to 10 teams over the next 30 years in college football, I think I can pick the winner.
I think you're right, and it's to the point. I mean, last year, the surprises were sort of limited in nature. Maybe Oklahoma State getting in the Big 12 championship game, that surprised a few people. The big surprises the year before were like, when Washington came out of nowhere when DeBoer's first year there in 2022. That surprised some people. But it's almost like this, every year we're getting the same bunch in there. So I wasn't surprised by the rankings preseason, and I think it'll probably look pretty much the same. I wonder, though, if we look at the rankings a little bit differently and and look for the teams we think may undershoot. Because we know that, a lot of them are going to be good, but which of these are going to fall short? And the one I would really put right front center on that is Michigan, because it is a mostly new team. We talked about McCarthy a second ago. He's not there anymore. He was very important to them last year, Blake Corum. And the Harbaugh factor, I don't think we can minimize that. I know they won a few games with Sharon Moore when Harbaugh was suspended, but it was still Harbaugh coaching the team during the week and all. And we've seen this for every Ryan Day that works out, or Dr. Tom Osborne at Nebraska after Bob Devaney. There's a Foge Fazio at Pitt, or a lot of other coaches who are promoted from within who don't cut the mustard. And I think anybody who's trying to think that Sharon Moore is like, this is a great hire, I don't know yet. And with all the rebuilding they got to do, Michigan could be due for a big letdown this year. They're not as highly regarded as they were last year, but I think they could be even lower than that. So I'm keeping an eye out on some teams that I think might actually undershoot expectations.
Bruce, this is a tough one. I know you start a lot of Fridays with our good friends down in LSU, down in Baton Rouge, with LSU Persuasion. If you had to pick one of these two teams to advance the farthest, who do you take, Ole Miss or LSU?
Ole Miss, because I like Jackson Dart more than I like Nussmeier, although we haven't seen that much of Nussmeier. He looked okay in the bowl game, but I would lean to Ole Miss a little bit because you've got a quarterback I think they can ride here, and they're not sure of that LSU. And oh, by the way, they also had the Heisman winner last year at quarterback. There's going to be a little drop-off there. Even if Nussmeier's good, you're going from a guy who won the Heisman last year to somebody who's played very little and just takes that one bowl game really under his belt. So, Ole Miss, I would take, if you maybe pick those two, Ole Miss.
Yeah, I like that. Bruce, I want to get some baseball from you in a second, but I am curious. You've been going through all of these win totals before the college football season started. Has there been a win total that you've seen that maybe not many other people are talking about, one that kind of jumped out to you and you're going, why is nobody else talking about this team? Has anything jumped out to you like that?
Iowa. Iowa's only like, I think 7.5. They won 10 last year without an offense. They've changed coordinators this year. Tim Lester's, and we know the Brian Ferentz stuff last year, but the defense should be every bit as good as last year. And I don't think the Big Ten is that strong. I don't think it was last year either. That's why Iowa won 10 games last year, because the league just wasn't that good. The defense has been so tough for Iowa. The non-conference schedule, as long as they can beat Iowa State, and I think they get them at home this year, they're going to be fine. So I would sort of say Iowa jumps out at me in the Big Ten because I think there's a lot of wins for teams. Not everybody's Ohio State. The Big Ten is just, and I think Michigan's down this year, and the schedule breaks pretty well for Iowa. So that's one that jumped out at me.
I like that one. Another really good weekend on the schedule for Major League Baseball. Is there anything tonight or into the weekend that you like?
Yeah, I'm going to go against the Angels right now. You might have to lay a little heavier price with the Braves tonight, but I think the Angels are dead in the water. I went and saw them a couple times this week against the Blue Jays because I'm actually still in California right now, and they look completely listless. And the Braves did win 3 or 4 in San Francisco, so I would give the Braves a look here tonight. I would keep riding. Hold on one second here. I would keep riding San Diego and Arizona. San Diego, the schedule is broken very well for them, but here we got Colorado right here, maybe on the run line there. Arizona's into Miami. Ride them. Arizona on a 44-21 run. San Diego 19-3 run. Yes, the schedule is broken pretty well for San Diego, but they are right on the Dodgers' tail. So those two right now, I just keep riding them, and I'd go against the Angels and see what happens this weekend.
I like it. Bruce, maybe the best series this weekend is Cleveland, the Guardians visiting Milwaukee to play the Brewers. They used to both be in the American League. It could be the Fall Classic. It could be the World Series. We know the networks would freak. I can't stand that what the networks would like stuff. If it fell Cleveland and Milwaukee, I would love it. That's two good teams going at it this weekend.
I agree. I mentioned that to somebody this week. I said, I hope this would be the World Series just to make the network execs sweat. And I think it could be because Cleveland's pitching is that good. One other one to watch here, Houston. I neglected to mention them. I think you're getting a little plus price tonight with them against the White Sox on the run line. As bad as the White Sox have been in Crochet, by the way, is completely dropped off the map here in the last month. Houston has won 8 straight. Arrighetti has pitched very well his last couple games. Keep an eye on Houston, too, though. I agree with you. Cleveland's one to watch, and that series with Milwaukee is interesting. But also keep an eye on the Astros as the team. All of a sudden in the American League, which I think is very wide open, it's theirs for the taking, and they may be able to get there.
Absolutely. Bruce, before we let you go, where can we find more of you?
Yeah, thanks, Brian. Check me out online. How about Winners and Winers, WHINERS.com. Picks up there. We've had a good run. We're 6-0 in the MLB the last couple of nights. Finally won an NFL preseason last night in that total. Winnersandwiners.com. You can also read my stuff at CBS Sportsline, sportsline.com, and picks also VegasInsider.com.
Bruce, as always, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll talk to you again next Friday.
Okay, boys. Thank you.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you, Bruce Marshall. And next Friday, real games to pick.
Yes, we will. That is
real American college football.
Think about it. Incredible.
In Dublin.
That's right.
Nothing
Dublin.
says American college football like that, does it?
Yeah, you got to figure it out, I guess.
I didn't want to get Bruce started because he growing up in Los Angeles and UCLA fan and kind of a lot of USC through the years. How about the ESPN 1 through 100 list of college football players today at .com, and having played one game, coming in at number 91, quarterback for USC, Miller Moss. That's Trojan privilege, isn't it?
It feels like it, yeah.
And no Seth Hennigan on that list. Are
crazy.
You serious?
Yeah, player one game. That's
one game against Louisville, and Louisville had half the team opt out.
That's right. Yeah, it was a bowl game. Yeah, that's incredible.
But that SC brand.
Oh, it's massive.
It drives Bruce crazy.
Oh, yeah.
It has a lot of his life. No matter what new Chevy or pre-owned car you're looking for, head to see our friends at All-Star Chevy down in Olive Branch. First exit into Mississippi on Kraft Goodman Road. Take that exit off of Highway 78, and you're there. All-Star Chevy's end of summer sale going on now. Together, let's drive what we really want to drive. Pick out 2 or 3 to test drive or more, and you're more than happy to do that. If you can't find it at All-Star, you can't find it anywhere. 20 to 30 new Silverados, marked down as much as 12% to save you thousands. Every Tahoe you could want for road trips and tailgating, they have it. Law enforcement, all first responders, healthcare workers, college students, college grad, military, instant $500 bonus back, and all the pre-owned Ram trucks and Silverados you can imagine. They have Broncos, a 4Runner, an Audi, a Hyundai Palisade, and one sweet Corvette Stingray. This is the best week to get the most money on any vehicle you want to sell. Bring it to All-Star in Olive Branch, whether you bought it there or not, and get a big check today. Let's go to All-Star, and don't miss out on All-Star Chevy's end of summer sale going on right now in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet. Find out more information by going to allstarautogroup.com.
Well, we need to get to a break. We've had a lot of fun out here watching some golf, so let's talk about what we saw, and let's do it with Rex Hoggard from the Golf Channel. He joins us next on Sports Time.
It's happening right now. You can
Gossett Volkswagen, Germantown. Marty, you might be too busy moving back prices over there. What's up?
I'm going way back, Randy. Doc's orders. I've got 2024 Teos SE or 2024 Jetta Sport. Got to go back in time to get the good old days at $275 a month.
Great Scott, McNate. Plus, I hear the 2024 Atlas Peak Editions are going for $5,000 off MSRP or 1.9 for 60 months.
That's right, Randy. During the Volkswagen Savvy Summer Sales Event, your future is whatever you make of it. So go to Gossett Volkswagen Germantown at 7420 Winchester Road or shop online at GossettVWG.com.
Ask for Marty to find out how much he can move you back on price. That's Gossett Volkswagen, 7420 Winchester Road.
Right now at Wendy's, you can get a small Frosty for $1. And literally everyone is going. The car behind you, going to get $1 Frosty. The car ahead of you, already had one, going for second. The person who cut you off earlier, you guessed it, $1 Frosty. Maybe it's all a sign for you to go get one. Just don't cut anyone off. No one likes that person. The iconic Frosty for $1, gotta be Wendy's.
Time only. Participating U.S. Wendy's. Not valid in a combo. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, California, and via third-party delivery.
Getting engaged is one of life's most spectacular occasions. And when you find your ring at Sissy's Log Cabin, the promise of a lifetime begins with our promise to always provide unmatched quality, superior service, and brilliant natural diamonds. Find your dream engagement ring, wedding bands, and more when you shop Sissy'sLogCabin.com or stop by one of our 6 locations. Begin the rest of your line in brilliant, only at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
You know, sometimes I wish I had a gun.
Well, I'm armed, but before I bought one, I still went to Top Gun Academy to learn to protect myself without a gun.
How is that possible?
Top Gun's personal protection training. It's perfect if you want to protect yourself without firearms.
I don't know.
And it's perfect if you feel the need to carry a gun for self-defense, because the last thing you really want to do is shoot.
That is scary.
Not at Top Gun. It's very comfortable, and you learn to load, handle, and shoot a handgun safely. Protect yourself. Go to Top Gun Academy. They're at 2770 Winton Road.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawa Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawa is a PCUSA church located in down Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Despite a couple of EMS calls just in the last 15-20 minutes, traffic-wise, we've been in pretty good shape trying to get down through Midtown, at least for now, here on 240 eastbound from South Parkway down past Norris. 240 east seems like it's trying to get a little bit heavier just in the last few minutes. Both directions actually on 240 east and west over around Poplar. Havenly Showers, your curbless shower specialist. Transform your bathroom with a tub curbless shower conversions. Check out havenlyshowers.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you. We're out here at TPC Southwind for Day 2 of the FedEx St. Jude Championship right now.
68 and cool, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, perfect weather out
Plus
here.
Plus 42.
It's hot, but it's not that bad. It's 97 degrees is what my computer is telling me right now. But Denny McCarthy, Hideki Matsuyama, both 11 under. They're both tied for the lead right now, both of them in the clubhouse. But joining us now to talk about everything that's happened out here through 2 days, Rex Hoggard from the Golf Channel. He joins us now. He's nice enough to join us yesterday and join us again today to talk a whole bunch of golf. Rex, thanks so much for joining us again. While they're not at the top, it still feels like Scotty and Xander are just right there, kind of approaching the top, and it feels like at any moment either of those guys can really jump and get towards the top of this leaderboard.
I would agree with you on both fronts. I think the one that stands out is Scotty. Just what he's done this season. Anytime you see him 2, 3, 4 strokes back after 2 rounds, you know he's pretty much exactly where he wants to be. And I hate doing the comparisons of anyone to Tiger Woods because it's always unfair, it's always unrealistic. But in this particular case, I think it's very, very similar. When Scotty is playing his best golf, which he has done this season, he did last season, that if he's anywhere close to the lead, you know he's going to give it a run. And just go back to Paris just a few weeks ago. He was right there, 3, 4, 5 strokes back, and shot a 5 around 62 to win the gold medal. It's not unrealistic to think he could do the exact same thing this week in Memphis.
But one of the people that's in the clubhouse at 11 under after a 65 yesterday and a 64 today, Hideki Matsuyama, and he is the definition of right down the irrigation line, fairways, green, solid player. He's Mr. Steady Eddie.
I wish I could hit as many bad-looking shots, the way he lets go of the club on the follow-through, and they end up right in the middle of the fairway. It's amazing to me. It's a gift. It's a talent. All of the things that he ends up doing. Yes, I think Hideki is going to be in the mix come Sunday afternoon because his golf course is perfect for him. When you look at what this golf course demands out of the player, you've got to put it in play. You've got to hit the middle of greens. He's really, really good at doing both of those things, and he's been playing golf well the last few weeks. I don't think it's any surprise that Hideki's right there in the mix. I will say that watching the coverage this afternoon, I'm also not surprised by Denny McCarthy. And you kind of go to his interview with Smiley Coffin on NBC earlier today, where he was talking about last year in Memphis. It really took a lot out of him. You guys mentioned it's really hot there, and that's kind of just the fact of life in Memphis this time of year. And so he went out of his way and found a way to make sure he was hydrated, to make sure everything with his body was as good as it possibly could be to put himself into contention. And as well as he putts, I'm not surprised he's there either.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm curious, we talked about Victor Hovland earlier today, a guy that's kind of right there outside of the top 50, but had a really good day today. What have you made of the year for Victor Hovland, and what would it mean for him to continue this good weekend and be able to get into that top 50?
It's a moving target, but right now I think there's 5 guys who played their way into the top 50 and out of the top 50, and I think I said this yesterday. That's the most important bubble on the PGA Tour. That's the most important bubble in professional golf, which is why this week's tournament is so important, not just to the PGA Tour, but to the players as well. And you look at the season that Victor Hovland has had, and by any measure, it's his worst season as a professional, which is saying something. And you go back to the end of last year, and I don't think there was anyone who was playing better golf than Victor at that point, even Scotty Scheffler, because you look at that run, the way he finished the season with the FedEx Cup playoff, going into Tiger's event, which I know is a silly season event, but still, the way he finished out the year, he was clearly the best player on the planet, and yet he decided to go down a weird road with his swing, and it took him down a bad path, and we now know the result of that was this year, which was a struggle from start to finish. For him to be able to find something at this moment in time, and look, 36 holes, the rest of the tournament, it's a long way to go, and that bubble's going to move a lot between now and then. If he can find a way to play his way into the top 50, that'd be one of the highlights of the year for me.
Rex Hoggard with us from Golf Channel on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. And Rex, about an hour ago, I asked this more rhetorically. Now I ask you for your expert opinion. It's not right now. It's not even Friday afternoon. But at what point this weekend, for somebody that knows, I'm not cracking next week even, and I'm sure not going to East Lake. Instead of maybe that layup shot, they say to heck with it, I'm going for it. When do we approach that?
I think by the time you get into tomorrow afternoon, going into Sunday, I think that's obvious. And that was the coolest part for me from a golf perspective, from a competitive perspective, was being at the Olympics because everything changed. Because I think my colleague John Wood said it best. They don't pay out past top 3 at the Olympics, which means that, look, you either finish first, second, or third. Everything else doesn't matter. In this particular case, if you're someone who's on the outside of that bubble, and you're right, if you're not going to the BMW Championship right now, you have absolutely nothing to lose going into the weekend. There's no cut. There's no reason to play conservatively. That's what makes this event so enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. Let it rip.
Absolutely. Another guy I'm curious your thoughts about, Robert McIntyre, a guy that Brett has loved all year long. He's got 2 wins on the year, 5 top 10s. He's looking good this weekend. What do you think of the young Robert McIntyre?
He might be the story of the year for me. And look, Scotty Scheffler,
Wow.
I truly believe, is going to end up being the player of the year, and deservedly so. I think Xander could make it interesting coming down the stretch if he were somehow able. We all know how well he plays East Lake, so that's still a little bit of a debate. But when it comes to the story of the year, and look, we can talk about the things going on outside the ropes in professional golf, but Bobby McIntyre is really cool. I was at the Canadian Open when he won there for the first time. He had his dad on the bag. His dad was the superintendent at the little course in Oban in Scotland where they grew up. Like, you can't script it any better than that. Hollywood's not coming up with that script because it's too unbelievable. And then to do what he did at the Scottish Open, and again, I was at that event, and I've done a lot of really cool interviews in my life that I'm proud of, that I look back on and think I tried to ask the right questions. And that particular interview with Bobby Mack at the Scottish Open, with everything it meant to him to win his National Open, that was more important to him than any major. That was more important than a Ryder Cup. That was the most important thing to him. It was really special. And I think that's why this season is going to go down as the year of Bobby Mack.
Rex, you do that. You do it so well. You can tell that they trust you, and you can really get that out of them. I think we see the personalities playing out. Robert McIntyre has been delightful to visit with here in the availabilities that we've had with him. Another one, you just can't make a more infectious personality than Tom Kim. Bright and I fell in love with him when he found that quicksand or whatever that mud bog he found at L.A. Country Club. I didn't know they had mud holes at L.A. Country Club that he found last year, and he came out of it muddy head to toe and laughing about it and taking pictures of himself. He is just a lovable young guy.
He really is, and he's such a talented player. And I will go back to the Olympics again. Sorry, I apologize for doing this, the NBC homer in me.
That's fine.
However, when you look at what was on the line for him that week during the men's competition, and look, everyone wanted to win a medal. But for Tom Kim, it was kind of career-changing. And I say that because in South Korea they have mandatory military service, and it's something he's going to have to do. The only way he's going to get exempted from that is if somehow he was to win a medal at the Olympics, gold, silver, or bronze, whatever the case may be. When he finished up on Sunday, the men's competition, it was, and I kind of reflected on this after the fact, where you don't really get the emotions in golf that you get in other sports at the Olympics, because in golf we have 4 pretty big events every year, whereas in every other sport, this is the pinnacle. You're having to wait every 4 years to do this. For Tom Kim, in that moment, it was the emotion that you've seen, because he knew this was an opportunity that he let pass. He didn't win a medal. He didn't get the exemption. He'd been working so hard for it. He collapsed into his caddy, Paul Story's arm. There was a lot of emotion going on there. Now, he still has opportunities to avoid that military service, or he can go do it. And I keep going back to the idea that others have done this, Sang Moon Bae being the primary example. When Sang Moon Bae went into the military in South Korea, he was running 54th in the world. He's now ranked outside the top 500. So it's really, really hard for a professional golfer to take a year off to go do this, which, look, I was in the military in the United States. I understand how important this is. In this particular case, though, it's really hard to keep that professional edge going, and I think Tom Kim realized it. And in that moment, to your point, you saw the emotion. You saw why he is such a popular player.
Yeah. You talk about the Olympics, and one of probably the best moments for me of all of the Olympic coverage was that Sunday afternoon when Scotty wins, and you talk about kind of the emotions with this because the majors are so big. Golf is still very new to the Olympics, so it's not as much emotion there, but you see Scotty Scheffler, after he wins, move to tears while the national anthem is playing when he's awarded his gold medal. How was that scene to watch there in Paris, just to see him just so moved by winning in that event?
I think it spoke volumes to what it means now to be an Olympic golfer. And that wasn't the case back in 2016 when golf went back to the Olympics in Rio. And I understand why. It was new. This isn't something that players grew up wanting to do. However, I will immediately point to the idea that Scotty Scheffler did not cry as he was getting the green jacket this year at Augusta. I'm not saying it didn't mean anything to him. I'm not saying it didn't mean more to him than winning the gold medal. But hearing the national anthem, being in that setting, just hits different. And I think we see it year in, year out, or every 4 years, I guess I should say, when it comes to these athletes, that they understand the importance of why golf, being in the Olympics, means something more.
Yeah.
It was fun to see. All right, Rex, give us at almost the 36-hole mark, who do you think is holding the FedEx St. Jude Championship trophy on Sunday and headed to Castle Rock?
I like Matsuyama, as you pointed out. Like, he is perfectly built for this golf course. I think Denny McCarthy is such an interesting player. He's such a competitor. I love the idea, but I don't know how anyone beats Scotty Scheffler at this point. When he's in full flight, when he's doing what he's doing right now, it's hard to imagine how someone beats them.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a really fun weekend here in Memphis. Rex, thanks so much for joining us both yesterday and today. Enjoy your weekend. Let's do this again soon.
Anytime. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Rex. Rex Hoggard with Golf Channel joining us to talk the play yesterday and today and into the weekend, and I like his picks.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, and it's interesting. Something, we didn't get a chance to talk about, but, Hideki Matsuyama is doing all of this with kind of that story still out there. He's without his caddy. He's without his coach after a robbery after the Olympics, and he's still able to come out here because I'm sure – these golfers are really, really good,
They really like routine.
They really like those guys being around them. So you got to imagine that probably shook him. Then now having to be here without those people around him, but still able to go out and do what he's doing, been really impressive to watch.
And hits right down the irrigation line.
Yeah.
Every time he's Mr. Steady, and I think he's got it to hang on this weekend. Part of our great sponsorship team for SEC Media Days, for our coverage at the FESJC and throughout the year. We appreciate them so much. It's the good folks at First National Bank and Trust with its roots in Eastern Arkansas as a division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas. They're now firmly in West Tennessee. Eastern Arkansas's largest independently owned bank now in West Tennessee, First National Bank and Trust, with the great offices out in Collierville and at 775 Ridge Lake Boulevard. They focus on their clients' needs in the Mid-South for all their banking needs, personal banking, business banking, online banking, and that mobile app. Courage and confidence has been displayed by First National Bank and Trust officers throughout its history. In good times and in challenging times, First National Bank and Trust, they've been recognized as one of the most progressive banking institutions in the country. For recreational, residential, commercial, customers depend on First National Bank and Trust because they know real estate, and you can depend on them. Call 901-498-5763 or contact any member of the FNBT team.
Well, I'm trying to take a look here. I'm just going to go ahead and stand up. Looks like
that's allowed.
Colin Morikawa and Rory McIlroy about to come through here. Looks like they're about to tee off on 18. A really big group.
Oh, wow. What a big crowd around.
And
That's
we've
great.
even got people, I think, trying to get ahead of the pack getting up here on this dog leg.
Positioning
here.
is key. Oh, look at the crowds down the fairway.
Yeah, really good. And Ludwig and Wyndham Clark right here approaching the green. I think I've lost on that one. I was looking. I think we need
can't win them all.
Either a par or bogey from Ludwig. And I hate doing this because how much
I don't
love
want to lose
Ludwig.
you to Alan Bell. You win them all, he's going to hire you.
Exactly. But I hate it. I hate because once I got out there and was watching, how much I love Ludwig Aubert, and so having to root against him almost. But we need a birdie here from Wyndham Clark and either a par or bogey from Ludwig. I think it's probably a little out of the question, but we'll take a loss. That's okay.
If we could get a little break in the weather, we'll have smashing crowds over the weekend.
Oh, absolutely. 100%, because they're already really, really good on a Friday, so I can only imagine what they'll be like over the weekend. Well, we need to get to a break. Before we do that, let me remind you again about our great sponsors, our title sponsor, Landers Ford. All our scoreboard and leaderboard updates brought to you by Sissy's Log Cabin. Then all of our other great sponsors like First National Bank, Jason's Deli, Wade Incorporated, your North Mississippi John Deere dealer, Ronnie Grisani's Town Village Audubon Park, Banyan Tree Realtors, Wilson's Power Wash, DeSoto Honda, Jim's Place, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Memphis, and Memphis Tourism and the Memphis Sports Council. Let's get to a break. When we come back, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
This Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Belting. They keep you moving.
The Sunrise Super Summer Sale is on fire at Sunrise Buick GMC at Wolf Chase. You'll find sizzling hot deals like a new 24 Buick Envista and $2,000 off MSRP, or choose a new 24 Buick Encore GX and up to $7,000 off MSRP with qualifying rebate. Sunrise Buick GMC at Wolf Chase. You make it fun buying a car.
Price does not include licensing costs, registration fees, taxes, and dealer doc fee of $899.50, which are to be paid by the consumer. Invista stock number RB168330, MSRP $25,880, dealer discount $2,000. Encore stock number RB217502, MSRP $30,405, dealer discount $4,000. Purchase allowance $3,000. Must currently own a non-GM vehicle. Expires 9/3/24.
Genesis Diamonds' most extreme value on diamonds is coming to an end. You have until Sunday at 5 p.m. to get the price of a lifetime on a certified GIA diamond ring.
It has been incredible. People
roof systems across the Mid-South. To the tens of thousands of clients we've served, we are honored. So many of you call our team at Brian Elder Roofing your roofers. Our team is dedicated to serving you and keeping your family safe, dry, and mold-free. The recent hailstorms have caused massive damage, and many of these will go unnoticed for years, even though the golf ball-sized hail we just experienced in the Mid-South compromises even the best-built roof system. Whether we find damage or not, your photos are securely stored for future reference. Call Brian Elder Roofing today for a total evaluation of your entire roof system free. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. Call me at 901-867-0303. That's 901-867-0303. Or visit us online at brianelderroofing.com.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous, a legendary experience for over 75 years, whether you dine in, pick up, or ship across the country.
The Mitsubishi Final Days of Summer sales event is going strong at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. So come get bang for your buck with 420 total range and 64 combined MPGE in 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV. We Gossett 34,770 or $299.98 a month. And check out 2024 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. We Gossett at $27,245 or $349 a month. Plus, you'll never go wrong with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Get to Gossett Mitsubishi today at 1870 Covington Pike and 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com. That's Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
RZO 35,297, MSRP 47,470, 36-month, 30,000-mile lease, 44,53 due at signing, 1,095 acquisition fee, 25 cents per mile excess wear and tear. Eclipse RZO 65,450, MSRP 28,745, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Brian Davis.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, Brett, my big number, we're both standing right now watching Rory. He's on the wrong side of the water for anybody curious of what's going on the golf course. He might have gone in the water, so he's playing his third shot.
He sure could be.
But my big number today.
Can we do a live action call?
I don't know. There's red line, and I don't want to get in trouble with wherever the red line might be. So I'll just go straight to my big number. It is the number 52. We've been talking about the Boston Red Sox and what they've done this season. This one actually surprised me. Since the All-Star break, the Boston Red Sox have allowed 52 home runs in 24 games. That's 12 more than any other MLB team in that time. The 52 homers are the most home runs allowed by Boston in any 24-game span in team history. So they're really giving up the long ball.
I don't think when Boston broke spring training for opening day, they were thinking this is a go for it year.
No, not at all. I mean,
they can make the play. When I was there in May and see them in St. Louis, they weren't.
Sure. Well, but I mean, Brett, I think especially at the beginning of the season, we were talking about this Boston team. Could be a team that bottom a half, maybe even one of the worst teams in baseball, and they've certainly been far from that. They've played well this season. But, yeah, definitely the pitching has been a struggle since the All-Star break, and definitely with those long balls.
Yeah, and they didn't do much around deadline either. I don't think they viewed it financially as a go-for-it year. My big number is 7. ESPN top 100 college football players out today at .com, and the first quarterback there was at number 7 is Carson Beck from Georgia. 24 touchdowns last year, 6 interceptions, almost 4,000 yards passing. That won't win the Heisman this year for him, but 34 and 5 in that yardage, that will. There were defensive players in front of him, and they won't win the Heisman. There were three different players in front of him. They won't win the Heisman. An offensive lineman in front of him. They won't win. He won't win the Heisman. And then there was Luther Burden and Travis Hunter. Burden from Mizzou, and Travis Hunter, the great two-way player for Coach Prime at Colorado.
Yeah.
I don't think Hunter will win enough.
No.
Burden could.
He could.
My point is, it's Carson Beck's.
It's definitely Carson Beck's, and I saw earlier today that he has signed a NIL deal with a private jet company, kind of like what we saw with Jackson Dart earlier in the summer. So he'll be able to fly around places.
What a time to be alive!
Wow. NIL, it's a crazy thing.
No two-a-days.
No.
All the cash.
And you get to fly around.
What a time to play college football.
How many former college quarterbacks, probably really good former college quarterbacks, gone, man, wish I was able to take a jet wherever I wanted when I was in college.
What would Tim Tebow have made?
Oh, jeez. Tim Tebow would have broken the charts.
What would Tommy Frazier have made?
Tommy Frazier would have broken the charts. I mean, it is, and I see a lot of people do
all those
that.
OU guys, they all made money on the switch. They had NIL.
Yeah.
Jamel Holloway, he had a full-length fur coat on the sideline. He had NIL.
Yeah. Well, no, and I see a lot of people, that's kind of like a trendy story to do right now is, what would this former player have made in NIL? And it's interesting because it's definitely a new day and age of college athletics.
Brian, that's the story. That's the book out there for somebody to write. Because now it used to be, I don't mean this as ugly as it's going to sound, there's a little honor among thieves.
Sure.
We don't tell all the
course.
recruiting stories. We don't tell all the handshake stories. We don't tell Mr. Big that gave me my money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can tell it now.
Oh, yeah. Well, they want you to tell it.
Somebody should write that definitive book on at every place, and every place had them.
Mm-hmm.
We all knew it. It was wink and nod
absolutely.
and kind of elbow in the ribs of room books and tuition. So now somebody, I wish we'd – now you got to get every party to talk.
Sure.
And do you really want – maybe some of those boosters – are no longer alive, and do you want to disparage them like that? But we know a lot of the recruiting stories that emanated from right here in Memphis.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, it was happening all over the place. And so, it would be definitely an interesting story to do. But, now, like you said, nowadays they want people to tell about who's giving them the money. They want those NIL boosters.
That's good for business.
About it. It's great for business. Look at Miami, and
well, they were kind of doing it.
Of course. But now that it's legal, everybody that's donating money, they want John Ruiz. Everybody knows who John Ruiz is because of the money that he gives to Miami athletics.
The story in the day is the Miami, and it was really sharp how they did it.
Yeah,
they had Luther Campbell from Two Live Crew.
Sure,
he was one of the big people involved, but it was mostly funded by the U players that had done really well in the NFL. They would pass the hat among them, and the honor code was you do not talk.
Right. Interesting. I like that. So,
but plenty talked.
Of course. But, I think there's definitely a story there, a book there to be written about, what it was way before NIL was a thing.
I mean, at SMU, I talked to the whole 40-year strange trip we've been on.
Yeah.
I bet we could get some details that we don't know
definitely.
from that ESPN great 30 for 30 narrated by the TV show of Dallas, Patrick Duffy.
Yeah.
We could get a lot more.
For sure. Absolutely. And I'm sure they would, be open to sharing more information about that. So, no, I'm definitely with you on that. But we need to get to another break and wrap up our second hour. And when we come back, we're going to talk more about everything that's happened out here at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. John Varlas, he joins us now from the Daily Memphian. He'll join us on the other side live at the table. We'll do that next on Sports Time.
Memphis Public Links has so much going on right now. Audubon is right around the fairway. Wait until you see when this thing is a finished product. Fox Meadows is in great shape. The links at Pine Hill is now a masterpiece of a place to play, as are really all the other Memphis public golf courses. Galloway is playing like a championship course. They just finished the 75th year of the OPO, and Overton Park is now talked about, and that layout all across the state. And by the way, folks, it's so easy to make a tee time. The hard part is getting your buddies to pick their time. You go online to memphispubliclinks.com, select your course, then grab your tee time. Simple, easy, and incredibly convenient. Also, on the website is a schedule of upcoming events. There you'll find something that will interest you. Again, if you want to book a tee time or find out more about tournaments or other events at any of the great Memphis public golf courses, go online to memphispubliclinks.com.
If you love sports and Mexican food, you can get the best of both at Los Cabos Mexican Bar and Grill on Summer near Graham. Watch all the big games and all the big TVs on all the walls at Los Cabos. And enjoy premium tequila shots anytime for just $5.50. Celebrate every day with lunch specials from 10 to 3 and happy hour from 3 to 8. Lunch is just $6.75 to $10.99 and margaritas start at $3.99. Experience real Mexican cuisine along with great sports at Los Cabos on Summer near Graham.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this. If something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Make your next grill your last with the Big Green Egg in East Memphis Heights. Smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all with a lifetime warranty. Ready to cook in only 15 minutes with good temperatures from below 200, above 700, and anywhere in between. Change your at-home cooking experience for life with our unmatched raw egg wood-fired grill flavor that has our customers raving. Inform Big Green Egg and all our accessories at East Memphis Heights on the corner of South Light Station and Quince Road.
All 650 acquisition fee, $20,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte RE 794066, MSRP 21820, Telluride RG 543,666, MSRP 39835, EV9 R602 29603, MSRP 61035. Lease terms include all rebates and incentives, and a PF 695 includes tax, title, license, registration, and fees. Must finance through Hyundai with approved credit, valid through 8/31/24. Dealer stock only.
Hey, yo, Jeff Allen, what's up over there at Gossett Kia, South Mount Moriah?
I know what's down, Randy. Prices at Gossett Kia, Mount Moriah. You looking to save? 41 MPG Highway in a 2024 Kia Forte LXS, $199 a month, $37.99 due at signing. I've got a 2024 Kia Telluride S front-wheel drive, $379 per month, $39.99 due at signing. And Randy, talk about saving big bucks. 304 EPA estimate range for $389 a month in a 2024 Kia EV9 Lite, $49.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease.
Plus the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It's Friday. You know the drill. Give yourself extra time out here just to be on the safe side. It's really picking up with more volume on 240 East here at Mount Moriah. Some of this traffic getting on to 385 Billmore Parkway, and then some of it's continuing on 240 East over here up by Poplar there at Sam Cooper. That's picked up going outbound, but some a little bit more volume just in the last few minutes. Working your way back towards the interstate through that construction zone as it continues to build south of Memphis on 55, sliding down through DeSoto County. Havenly Showers is your curbless shower specialist. Check them out online this weekend at havenlyshowers.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you. We're out here at TPC Southwind at the FedEx St. Jude Championship as round two starting to wrap up. The final groups coming through on 18. And joining us now here at the table, John Varlas from the Daily Memphian to talk some golf, everything he's seen out here. John, thanks for joining us. What have you seen out here today?
Well, lots of good golf, Brian.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of good golf. I'm gonna give you a preview of the lead of my story that's going to post in the Daily Memphian. There were more birds out here today than in an Alfred Hitchcock movie.
All right, way to go, John.
How about that?
I love that.
But yet nobody approached the course record 61. We had some 63s, but not even a 62. Was it?
No, 3 63s. I think there was a 64 from Tom Kim.
But it was collective.
A few
it was
65s.
a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean 66s, 60s. I mean, I haven't counted it up yet because everybody's not finished. But I mean, well over half the field is going to be below par. And I mean, I'm going to ask you guys too, as golf experts. What is it? Is it the weather?
They're that good. Nothing can stop them.
They are good. They are good. But shouldn't this course maybe be a little harder? You think, or no? They're just that good.
They're just that good.
They are that good.
I don't know that you could set it up without going to an extreme that makes it not fun for your payers, for your gallery, for your fans. Does anybody want to come out here and watch these guys make double?
No. You don't want it to be like the British Open. But I mean,
can't stand the British Open.
You want a good challenge too. It's a little tricky. I tell you what, I think the most impressive thing I saw today was Tyler Pendrith, and I was actually watching this with Greg Gaston in the media tent on the TV there. He had a shot, and somehow his ball ended up by one of those temporary fences, and he was it was literally right against the fence.
Yeah.
So instead of taking a drop, he just went to the other side of the fence and kind of punched it through there on the other side, and got it in a decent position. I mean, you're right, Brett. These guys are just that darn good.
I think they are the best at their craft of any professional sport.
I would tend to agree with that. I think the gap between a great professional golfer, a great PGA Tour golfer, and just a really good amateur weekend golfer is probably better than any other sport. I mean,
leaps and bounds.
You see basketball players on the playground. I mean, the game's not that much different. Obviously, they're not LeBron James or whatever, but the game is not that much different. Same with other sports. But you're right, with golf and maybe baseball too. I mean, to me, those are the two hardest.
I don't think there's anybody that's not out here that should be. I don't think there's anybody that's here that shouldn't be. There's that guy that maybe got in trouble in high school, that didn't make it out of football, that if he dedicated himself, he could go to a camp, maybe make a team.
Sure.
Same for basketball, maybe in that order, football and then basketball. Baseball, then tougher, but not as extreme as this. There's not that the best club champion we've ever known of doesn't break 75 here today.
No, I agree with you. I agree. I mean, these guys are the best at what they do, and that's one of the reasons this tournament is very, very special. I mean, we have the Grizzlies, and we get to see the best NBA players in the world on a nightly basis, 41 nights a year. But even that, I think this kind of supersedes that, because this is the cream of the crop. This isn't the Utah Jazz coming in on a Wednesday night in January, and it might not be much of a game.
And those other sports, football and basketball, not baseball as much. There's a requisite size issue.
Yeah.
No matter how good you are, you're not playing left tackle in the NFL unless you're kind of 6'5" north and 3'10" north. Here, all shapes and sizes.
All shapes and sizes. You got Victor Perez at 6'6", and and all the way on down. I don't know who the shortest player out here is.
Brian Harmon's got it.
Brian Harmon. Okay, yeah. I mean, you got your Victor Perez's and your Tony Finau's and your Brian Harmon. It's a spectrum of size. I mean, we've seen guys in the past like John Daly and the Walrus, Craig Stadler. They didn't necessarily take care of their physiques in the best way, but it certainly didn't prevent them from having a lot of success.
They did a lot of curls.
Yeah, they sure did. Have you been able to catch Scotty and Xander's group this weekend?
I caught a little bit of the action yesterday, not so much today. I had a lot to do today, actually. Yeah. But no, again, I mean, to me, that's one of the cool subplots of this tournament is who's going to be the player of the year. And I've listened to a lot of these guys talk in the media availability, and the question's been asked several times. They asked the other players, whose year would you rather have? Would you rather have Scotty Scheffler's year or Schauffele's year? And, almost to a man, they say they'd rather have Scotty Scheffler here. And I guess I understand it.
Sure.
He's won a lot of tournaments. He's made a ton of money. But to me, and Brett, you and I talked about this, you're judged by what you do in majors. And Xander Schauffele's got half of those bad boys. So I don't know. I mean, I don't have a vote. I mean, if Schauffele was to do well in these next 3 tournaments, I would be persuaded to vote for him based on his success in the majors. I mean, to me, that's where it's at. But the pros think differently, and who am I to argue with them?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, both those guys just so talented and just so much fun to watch. What golfers impressed you the most that you've seen over these last 2 days?
Oh, that's a good question. I was really impressed with Kirk yesterday. And then kind of digging into his story too, what he's been through. In case any people listening might not know, I believe he was on the Korn Ferry Tour, and he decided to take some time off to deal with alcoholism, to deal with mental health issues that I guess were maybe a result of that or in conjunction with that. And as a result, he did deal with that, I guess, good enough to get back to playing. And he won the PGA Tour's Courage Award. And, he's had lots of success since then. And he had lots of success yesterday. Not too much today. A 70 out here today is really not a great
losing ground.
Not a great score at all. But, I was impressed with Kirk. I liked I liked what McCarthy and Matsuyama did today. I always like watching Matsuyama play. Sure. He's just so steady and mechanical. I'm almost going to get into stereotyping here, but he's just so emotionless and ruthlessly effective. And it's fun watching him play. So
he really is. His composure is something to behold.
So that's the guys I'm impressed with.
Yeah.
But Bryant, I mean, heck, they all impress me.
Oh they're incredible.
It is. This is the latest we've ever had the tournament. We've had 2 scorcher days. I feel like we'll get any break in the weather, we can have really big crowds this weekend.
Well, I'm a little upset because we could have had this tournament last week.
It was just delightful.
Not for the
Olympics.
Stupid Olympics you guys love
darn
so much.
Olympics.
Well, it feels like the heat always catches this tournament. So, I mean, I feel like if it was last week, it would have been hot last week and cool this week.
I joked a long time ago. Liberty Bowl and the golf tournament need to swap dates because you can count on the coldest day of the year, the Liberty Bowl, and the hottest one of the ones at the golf tournament.
Yeah, I
really have a July Liberty Bowl. That'd shake things up, wouldn't it?
A preseason Liberty Bowl, a scrimmage.
Might not be a bad idea going forward in the bowl world to do it early.
A Liberty Bowl jamboree, if you will.
Yeah,
there you go.
But no, if it wasn't for the Olympics, we really could have had some decent weather last week. But yeah, it's hot out here. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
I worked in the yard last Saturday morning and couldn't sweat. It was so nice. It was easy. It was simple.
Well, it doesn't take much to get me to sweat, but it's hot out here. I didn't listen to this interview so I don't know what tone was came with this comment, but they asked Hideki Matsuyama about the weather, and he goes, "No, it's nice and cool out here." So I don't know if he was.
That guy's a robot.
I don't know if he was being serious. I don't know if he was being facetious. I don't know if he was joking.
He's like Brian. He never complains.
That's right. Yeah.
So, but I tell you what. But back to the Olympics. One of the highlights of my year was listening to you two gentlemen talk about team handball and surfing.
We loved it. You can tell we were experts in it, right?
Gymnastics. Just great.
Me with the pommel horse.
Great commentary. Right. You and your pommel horse.
Yes, that's right. That's right. You talk about how hot it is. I saw Wyndham Clark today. I can't believe I haven't mentioned this yet on the show. Wyndham Clark today. Double sweatbands on each wrist, and like the big ones.
Going Dusty Baker?
And he I forgot which hole it was, but he at one point.
Dusty would go doubles?
This guy, Wyndham Clark's got the plays on his
exactly.
wrist.
That's
right. Scripted out.
I don't remember. I think it was 4. They're waiting to tee off, and he walks over to Ludwig's caddy, and he goes, "Do I look stupid with these on?" And he goes, "No, I mean it looks." And he goes, "Yeah, I know the answer."
And then Aaron Wright with the 2 gloves.
Oh yeah, 2-glove Aaron. Yeah, I love. I've watched him.
How many gloves he go through today?
Well, he probably a lot. He wears black gloves, so I can only imagine how hot it is.
And keeps them both in the right pocket.
Yeah,
did you notice
right.
that?
Yeah.
I know the Live Tour permits the players to wear shorts. So what do you guys think about that? I mean, I don't think it's that big a deal. Does it really detract from the game that much?
I don't think it would bother me at all.
Yeah,
no.
I don't think it would bother me.
I can
at
remember
all.
when they wouldn't allow the caddies to do it. That was revolutionary to give those guys a break.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures with the old caddies from the 70s out there, and yeah, you're right.
And the big heavy clothes. Ooh, and tote that bag. Now these bags are so big now, with the corporate logos on them, they look like the Goodyear blimp.
Yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal, especially on a day
Wouldn't bother me.
On a day like this. It certainly doesn't detract from the quality of play.
I did hear this in the gallery today from someone of, well, why don't they just ride in the car? You could tell it's somebody at a golf course for the first time.
Yeah. It's a good observation. I mean,
there's always a lot of first-timers out here. And that's one of the great things. Another great thing about the tournament, it draws a wide segment of our community.
Definitely.
Do you remember the first year you came to a tournament?
Well, it probably was the first year I covered it for the Daily Memphian.
So you didn't come a lot growing up?
No, I never. I don't think I came at all, Brett. I never did. So maybe 2000.
You've been here all your life.
I sure have, but I've never been to the tournament.
I thought you might have gone back to Colonial days, maybe.
No, I never have. I remember all the stories from Colonial. Al Guyberger and President Ford and
Jerry
Pate jumping in the lake. I know the story.
Jody Mudd's up and down on 17. He closed it out on 18.
I was talking with Phil Stukenborg today about Jody Mudd.
Oh, yeah. Jody closed it out in 88 out there. And then in 89, John Mahaffey won here. And I can promise you it did not look like this. There was almost zero housing development. When you come through, if you're coming down the main driveway, Tournament Drive, where the guard shack is, that entire left side, there wasn't a single house. That's where everybody parked.
Wow. Well, here's my idea, Brett, and you tell me what you think about this. So, at the Masters, they have a legendary Masters competitor hit a ceremonial shot to kind of get the tournament going. What if, this tournament brought out like a Jody Mudd or a Lynn Matisse or a Ted Treba to hit a ceremonial?
That's a great idea.
First shot here. Some of the names of the
John Cook, who
the problem
ripping the course up, made them rip it up and make it tougher.
They did.
Wow.
The problem is none of the Memphis past winners, or a lot of them, unfortunately, wouldn't be recognizable like the Masters winners are. So
right.
I guess that's the problem.
Well, I think the first guy you would have back, and I think he could still take a pretty good pass at it, would be Lee Trevino. He was the king of Memphis galleries, especially in the Colonial years. I would say out here the king of galleries was John Daly.
Sure.
And almost won it one year in an epic Sunday duel with Bob Estes, that there were open hog calls on the golf course with Arkansas against Texas. It was a great atmosphere, I think, in 04 when Bob Estes and JD dueled.
That's awesome.
Open hog calls.
Yeah.
That's great.
At a golf course.
I would love to be here for that. That's awesome. Well, John, I gotta ask you, high school football. A lot of jamborees tonight. We'll really get kicked off next week. Action Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I got to ask about my former school, my former team, Houston Mustangs, coming off a state championship. What are they going to look like this year?
I couldn't get him to sing the fight song over there after they brought the trophy home.
Did they even have a fight
song?
I
don't even know if they have a fight song.
Do they even do fight songs anymore in high school?
I don't think so.
Usually it's on Wisconsin for everybody, or the Notre Dame fight song.
I think ours is Notre Dame.
Well, to answer your question, Bryant, your Houston Mustangs are going to be every bit as good as
good.
Every bit as good as last year.
Like the legacy you built.
Oh yeah, laid the groundwork.
The house,
That's right.
they call Landers Field the house that Dacus built.
That's right. Yes. Oh yes.
But no, they're going to be good. They've got 7 starters back on each side of the ball.
Oh, wow.
And in high school football, your quarterback is so important. They got one of the best around in Chandler Day, he's going to actually go to Ole Miss, I think, and play baseball, Brett.
Wow.
But, he's a really, really talented high school quarterback. He was All-State last year, really accurate. Really smart, too. Their offense is pretty cerebral, and he's smart enough to run it and make it work. In the secondary, Bryant, they really do have 4 guys with the potential to play Division I college football.
Wow.
I mean, LaDedrick James is a really good player. Andre Allen's son, Andre Allen, is terrific. And they, a couple more guys.
That almost should even make Bryant feel old.
And then, they lost their running back last year, Damon Cisa, but they've got a guy I think that can plug right in.
Shay Arthur from Channel 3 saying yes, sir, to me today was the topper on feeling old.
We're old, Brett.
We are.
We are. Yeah. We are. These young guys like
the mirror doesn't lie.
These young guys like Bryant, they've never used a rotary phone, right?
The Advil consumption doesn't lie, does it?
But Selly Davis, I think he's going to step right in. He's a different kind of running back, a little bit bigger, not quite as fast, but bigger, stronger. Maybe harder to bring down between the tackles. Yeah. So, and with that coaching staff they've got over there, man, Bryant, those guys, they really, really know their football. The coordinators are excellent. Yeah. So I think Houston is going to be terrific. I told you off air. I'll tell you on air. I would not be surprised to see them back in Chattanooga again playing for another state championship.
That'd be awesome.
I think they're that good, and that's something that that's something we've never seen ever in 6A Memphis football. We've had champions in the past, for sure, but we've never had a back-to-back champion. Whitehaven won it twice, but there was a 4-year gap, and then White Station also won it, but that was only a one time. So, I really, really think they've got a chance to do something special this year, Bryant.
John, in your great reporting out there covering high school football scene, do you feel direct linkage, a direct correlation of the Tiger football success now under 3 coaches, Fuente, Norvell, now Ryan Silverfield, and the NIL help with FedEx? Do you think it's resonating for players to think about staying at home and recognizing what's being built by the Memphis Tiger football program?
I think that's a really good question, Brett. I don't think that we've started to see it just yet because I think the better players in our area are still – if they're getting SEC offers, Tennessee, Ole Miss, we're still seeing
it rings loudly.
That's where the commitments this year are. Rodarius Jackson at Sheffield's committed to Tennessee. Jaron Johnson and Austin Howard at Bartlett, they're both committed to Mississippi State. So it's hard to turn down that lure of the SEC, but hopefully it will start picking up. I know I've seen Ryan Silverfield out at the games and active, shaking hands and kissing babies kind of thing, and then making those contacts. Yeah. So he's doing. I think he's
showing up's worth a lot.
Showing up is worth a lot. I definitely think he's doing his part. I don't know that was necessarily the case in the past with some other coaches. But I think it is in Silverfield's case. So, I hope it starts to pay dividends because there's some really, really good football talent in this area. There always has been, but I think it's becoming more apparent now that the basketball side kind of isn't quite what it used to be. I think it's more apparent now how much good football talent there is in this city.
Absolutely. Who are some other teams to keep an eye on here locally in high school football?
Well, I think Bartlett is just a tick or two behind Houston. Obviously, they're in the same region, 8-6A. Bartlett is very, very good. In 5A, I like Southwind, obviously, Mr. Football, Kelvin Perkins, he's back for his junior year. He rewrote the record book last year as a sophomore and won Mr. Football. They had the best season in the history of the school. They won their first 13 games, and then they lost in the semifinals on in a really close game. So Southwind's going to be good. I think Melrose in 4A has a chance to be really, really competitive. They've got couple of new coaches over there, actually twin brothers who used to play at Melrose, and they're co-coaches.
Oh, wow.
And they have been pretty active this summer in the old high school transfer portal. So they've got some talented guys that have come in.
Good for them. They're out working
from other schools.
That's right.
And so I think Melrose has a chance to be special.
Wow.
And Melrose is kind of like the New York Knicks. When they're going good, the whole product is a little bit better. And there's
everybody perks up.
A little bit more interest. So Melrose, in 2A, Fairleigh went to the semifinals last year. Fairleigh Bulldogs, I think they've got a chance to be just as good this year. And then, in the small private, middle-sized private school, I think Lausanne, Lausanne's always really competitive. And they've got some dudes over there, really good young quarterback and some linemen and some skill guys. So I think they're going to be super competitive as well. I think it has a chance to be a really, really special year in our area.
I got a story idea for you.
Yeah.
Almost like the Daily Memphian did the top 25 25 players of the 21st century.
Oh, boy.
Adam, here's mine for you.
Okay.
Do an all-time and do a 21st century at every position. The all-time quarterback, the all-time 21st century quarterback, the all-time running backs, and try to adhere to position. 11 on offense, 11 on defense, and kickers. Courtney Levitt might be our kicker.
Well, that is a tremendous idea, Brett. I don't know if I want to get into
Tom
all that
Hutton's our punter.
Oh, is Courtney Levitt our kicker, or is Gary Wunderlich our kicker?
Gary Wunderlich's family's going to kill me for not having Gary in there. That's why you don't want to do that story.
Exactly. I would
love Gary Wunderlich, all-time leading scorer in Ole Miss football history.
I would watch Gary Wunderlich warm up and just be in awe of what he did. So
his mom and stepdad and his dad, Big Gary, good friends of mine. That's why you don't want to do it. You'll get in trouble.
Right, we're arguing over the kickers. When we get to running,
who would be your quarterback?
Jeez.
Oh, that's a good question.
Just to the 21st.
The 21st century. I mean, you probably would have to look at Barry Brunetti to start.
Sure would. That'd be a good one to start with.
He led his team to 2
slot receiver, Bryant Dacus.
Slot receiver, Bryant Dacus, and put big Brock Weiss on the other side.
Yes.
The 1-2 punch.
That's right.
Let Brunetti throw it. You got a winning formula there.
That's the
throw it
thing.
over to Brock Weiss.
That's the thing with those all-time or lists is you make a lot more people mad than you please.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just think about the running backs, Brett. I mean, my goodness, you got
Mark Dodson,
Eric
Gray.
Of course, Eric Gray, but then you could argue Jalen Walton. You could argue Cordarian Richardson.
Sure.
You could argue.
I'm getting in big trouble. I'd already forgotten about Jalen Walton from Ridgeway. Went to Ole Miss.
And you could argue.
What to bring this up for?
Oh, man, yeah.
What a crazy
trying to give him more work when high school football is starting.
I sit here and hang myself at 5:22 on a Friday.
You could argue any number of guys. It's just so hard.
Well, you know who my tackle would be? It'd be Barrett Jones. I saw him out here yesterday. He'd be one of them.
Barrett Jones would be a great pick, and I mean, so many good tackle. I mean, so many good players. I mean, it's just really, really hard. And what makes it hard in high school too is it's hard to compare across classifications. You know, you talk about a Mark Dodson that played 6A. You know, the biggest enrollments and in the best competition, and then you have an Eric Gray who's in a middle-sized private school, but he absolutely dominated the competition. I mean, he was a force of nature at that level.
Yeah, I don't know if he gets into 21st century. He might have been 20th. But there's a case to be made that Mark was not even the best running back ever at Whitehaven. Curtis Alexander could have been.
Yeah, people will tell you Curtis Alexander. I mean, Kylan Watkins that played at the U of M for a little bit was really, really good. I mean, I mean, you're Whitehaven.
Terrible idea, wasn't it?
I'm not a fan of this idea, Brad. I'm not a fan of this idea. The only thing worse would be doing a starting all-time basketball 5.
Oh man,
the only thing worse.
Geez, yeah.
You get into bomb threats then.
Yeah, that sounds
I kid.
Definitely impossible. Well, John, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a lot of fun. We'll do it again soon.
I appreciate you guys a lot. Have a great 30 remaining minutes.
Thank you.
You guys get out of here and
I'll
have
try
some
to
fun.
make it there. I think I got about 30 minutes left in me today, Brad. I'll be honest. Hot.
Take care, John.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
John Varlas with us from the Daily Memphin, and it is fun to catch up with him. He's with Greg and Eli every Friday at 7:30, and it is appointment radio. Appointment eating this weekend and anytime it's Jim's Place Grill in Collierville. Over 100 years of charcoal grill steaks, over 100 years of celebration, family time, and lasting great memories. The Terrace family with their touch for our community. Recipes that date back to the beginning in downtown to now in Collierville, at the railroad tracks at Poplar and Houston Levee. Online at jimsplacegrill.com. Don't forget that E in grill, and that's where every steak is grilled perfectly over an open flame. Come to Jim's Place and taste and see the difference. Lunch hours, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Dinner hours, Monday through Saturday, 5 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. A lot of conversation about the tournament and the college football season ahead, and all the NFL preseason games will be on this weekend. Since 1921, a Memphis landmark. Hard work, values, and a dedication to their diners, the Terrace family, they've created that memorable dining experience. The lunch menu, the staples like the souffle mauve, the crab cakes, those salad dressings, all homemade, the shrimp cocktail, and then at dinner, the calamari, soup, seafood, and the steaks, fillets, ribeyes, and strips. Great bar area that you will enjoy being in, all at Jim's Place Grill in Collierville.
Well, we need to get to a break. When we come back, we'll give you our final Sissy's Log Cabin full look at the leaderboard. We'll do that next on Sports Time.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHYY YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
Drive like a pro and support a great cause during the sales drive at Landers Ford in Collierville, Landers Ford South in South Haven, and Landers Ford North in Covington. We've provided over 100 new Fords to be driven by the pros at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Now they're all being sold with demo prices. That's right. Over 100 new Fords driven by the pros are being sold with demo pricing below market value. A portion of the proceeds go directly to the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. This is a once-a-year opportunity to trade up and drive like a pro while supporting a great cause. Visit LandersMemphis.com. That's LandersMemphis.com. Or come see us at Landers Ford in Collierville, Landers Ford South in South Haven, or Landers Ford North in Covington. With our Landers Easy Pass, you can get top dollar for your trade-in to help you save even more. Don't miss your chance. Reserve your demo price new Ford driven by a pro at the FedEx St. Jude Championship and lock in low APR financing. Remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled, and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. Fiveash Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com.
Family Leisure is having the world's biggest spa setting. It's happening right now. You can save thousands on in-stock hot tubs that are ready to be delivered. Family Leisure has spas that start at just $28.99. You know those cold plunges? You can get one for yourself starting at $39.99. Or how about swim spas? They start at $17,499. Plus, Family Leisure has set up special financing just for this event. Have you been sitting on the fence about an above-ground pool? Get off that fence and get to Family Leisure to take advantage of huge discounts on all their in-stock above-ground pools. And if you need some patio furniture, it's all priced to move out now. It's not too late to have some summer fun, courtesy of Family Leisure. But you better hurry up. The world's biggest spa sale might go on forever. Family Leisure. With and run at I-40. Family and fun come together.
Hey, Jason, the main man, Marshall, it's the Volkswagen Sandy Summer Sales Event at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike. And, buddy, I need the scoop.
Randy, don't pass this one by, my man. Take your pick, 2024 Taos SE or 2024 Jetta Sport, just $275 a month. And 2024 Atlas Peak Edition, $5,000 off or 0.9% APR for 60 months. And remember, at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike, no reasonable offer will be refused.
Remember, it's your choice, 2024 Taos SE or 2024 Jetta Sport, $275 a month. And 2024 Atlas Peak Edition's $5,000 off or 0.9% APR for 60 months. So ask for Jason, the main man, Marshall at Gossett Volkswagen, 1875 Covington Pike, or online at GossettVWMemphis.com.
Where we're charging for it and charging less every day.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawa Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawa is a PCUSA church located in town Memphis.
Sports 656 traffic.
Good afternoon. Still some volume out here on 40 East over here from Sycamore View Road all the way out into Fayette County, passing Germantown Parkway. A little bit of traffic there trying to get off the ramp from the interstate there onto Austin P Highway going outbound. It's busy but moving right now. 40 West here at Danny Thomas as that traffic continues to come out of the Midtown area, headed west on I-40 across the Hernando de Soto Bridge. Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. Go see them this weekend. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you. We're out here at TPC Southwind for the FedEx St. Jude Championship, as we're pretty much done with the first two rounds of the FedEx St. Jude Championship, and it's time for a Sissy's Log Cabin look at the leaderboard. At the top, it's a pair of guys. They've been leading the whole time. Nobody has been able to get there at 11 under. Denny McCarthy and Hideki Matsuyama both at 11 under through two rounds. Denny McCarthy shooting a 7 under 63 today in round two. Hideki Matsuyama with a 6 under 64 for the day. Sam Burns, he comes in at third, 10 under for the week. Scotty Scheffler right behind him at 9 under. Really feels like, and we talked to Rex Hoggart about this about an hour ago, this is exactly where Scotty Scheffler wants to be
Superman.
after two rounds.
Hanging back there perfectly.
Yes. Scotty Scheffler's not the guy that's going to go and, into round one, be one, and then win the tournament. He's the guy that's going to be kind of hanging around, and then Saturday or Sunday, that's really where he's going to jump
then full
and
throttle.
Take advantage. You're absolutely right. So he's at fourth right now at 9 under. Justin Rose and Nick Dunlap both T5 at 8 under. Really good day for both of them, but especially Nick Dunlap, 5 under for the day for him. Victor Hovland, Robert McIntyre, and Billy Horschel all T7 right now at 7 under. I mentioned Billy Horschel in there. Eric Van Rooyen, he is 6 under alongside Will Zalatoris and Chris Kirk. They are T10 right now. Chris Kirk ended the day yesterday with the lead, shooting a 64. Today he goes out there and shoots a 70, so he is 6 under, T10 right now. We've got a whole lot of guys.
Whole
T13.
golf. The rest of the tournament's at -5.
You're absolutely right. Right now at -5, Matt Fitzpatrick, Aaron Rye, Tony Finau, Xander Schauffele, Tom Kim, and Brian Harmon. And Brendan Todd I didn't see there as well. So 7 guys at 5 under, T13, and then I'll throw in our T20 guys as well. A lot of guys there. Taylor Pendrith, Tommy Fleetwood, Ben Griffin, Russell Henley, Christian Buzenholt, and Nick Taylor and Harry English, all 4 under, T20. So there's your top 20 as we go into Saturday. A really good top of the leaderboard, I think, and really shaping up to be an extremely competitive final 2 days.
I do too. How far down would you have to go to say it's over for you? Enjoy the weekend in Memphis? I think the guys at 4 could have that big round.
Yeah, I think
we need a little stumble.
I think probably after that, I'd say 3 under is probably the cutoff for me. Is
stay cool, find a shade tree.
If you're worse than 4 under, then I think it's going to be tough. But
55 players under par, only 2 players at exactly even par. That's even par 140. That's Patrick Rogers and Stephen Yeager, and very few over par. Taylor Moore, Mackenzie Hughes, Cameron Young, Rory McIlroy, one of those with a 73 today. And after what happened at the U.S. Open, I think Rory McIlroy kind of 2024 was over for him.
Yeah, it really feels like Jordan Spieth, another guy that just hadn't been his year this year. He shoots a 75 today. He's 3 over, T65 right now. I'm glad I didn't go with my Jake Knapp pick. Jake Knapp has been my guy really all year. He shot a 70 yesterday, goes out and shoots a 75 today. He is 69 right now. And then Max Homa really blew up at the end of his round today. We were looking at it earlier. Max Homa shoots a 78 today. He double bogeyed 9. So let's just start, because before he got to 9, really good.
I caught up with him about 10.
Yeah, so this was his front 9. Par, 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 birdie, par, 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 par. So going into 9, he's one under for the day and feeling pretty good. You shoot a 69 yesterday. You're certainly not at the top, but you're feeling good. And then double bogey on 9, bogey 10, par 11, bogey 12, another double bogey.
Snap hook tee shot on 13.
On 13, and then bogey 14, 15, and then a birdie on 16, par 17, bogey on 18. And I'm actually looking at this. This was actually a triple bogey on 13. He shot a 7 on the par 4. So a really, really struggle day for him.
I told you, and I'm not going to repeat it.
Right.
Leaving 12, I heard one of the more disturbing dialogues I've ever heard in my life at any sporting event.
Yeah.
One fan very loudly directed at Max Homa, and I think he was repulsed by it. At the entire gallery was as well, but it was one guy. It just takes one.
Sure.
And then he promptly got up on 13 tee and snap hooked it and made that 7.
Well, I really appreciate that guy. My pick, Max Homa.
Your second pick.
He was my second pick alongside Ludwig Aubert, who has not had the best week.
If there had been any security around, that person would have been escorted off the
Wow.
property.
Yeah.
I saw it all. I can't repeat it.
No.
It's too vulgar.
Definitely not. But that is interesting. I saw the group I was following this afternoon, Ludwig and Wyndham Clark. They had 2 security guards with them walking around with them. Not a big group. I thought kind of a bigger group for those 2, and really not a ton of people following those 2
So
today.
how are our picks looking? Look at Darian with Scotty Scheffler, but the potential to win double. Almost $7.5, $8 million.
I'll be honest. I was really hoping that Darian would try to get smart or something and pass up on Scotty.
You weren't
going to
pass, were
He's
you?
going to fall right into my hands.
You were going to catch him.
Yes. There was no way I was going to pass on him. But then
none.
When he skipped out on that, then that's when I tried to get cute and smart and go, well, maybe I won't go with one of the guys that's a favorite to win. And
your first pick was?
Ludwig.
Not a bad pick.
He hadn't had a good week.
And he would have to about go 62-62 to win to get in the mix.
Maybe even better than that.
I just don't think that many people at the top are going to lose ground.
It doesn't feel like
he
it.
might play well, but you're not going to lose that much ground.
Now, it's going to be interesting, and you mentioned it earlier, but tomorrow going to be a little bit different. Little potential weather in the forecast tomorrow morning. So gates opening at 9:30. First tee times start at approximately 9:45 tomorrow morning. So I'm curious, what does the course look like? I have not looked at the weather to see what kind of weather we're supposed to be getting, if it's supposed to be heavy rains or what to expect. But I'm interested to see what the course plays like tomorrow and how that kind of affects some of these golfers.
And John Varlas asked, are they just this good? And he answered his own question, and they are. To make it penalizing on them, I think would take the fun out for us.
Yeah, it definitely feels like. I mean, Brett and
You'd almost have to trick it up, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and I know, I've talked about it, and I know it's very controversial on what people think of the British Open. I'm not a fan of it just because it's a lot of and just you see a lot of
goofy
pars
bounces
and bogeys and stuff like that. And for me, and you add on the weather to it, it's just not fun for me to watch. And so, yeah, I like a sweet medium.
Yeah.
I don't want to go out and see a tournament where they're shooting 25 under.
Are we at a sweet medium?
Maybe a little past that sweet medium, but still time to kind of get back there.
Tuck a few pins tomorrow and Sunday.
Sure.
Bring it back to around 19 or 20.
Yeah, I think. I
thought 18 would win it.
Yeah, and that's fine. It's when we get into the 23, 24, 25 under is where I'm going. Okay,
that's the American Express. Then
yes, it's way too easy. So maybe switch up the pin locations tomorrow and Sunday, make it a little more difficult for these guys.
And I can hear people now going, playoffs are supposed to be tough.
Sure.
Yes, they are. But with this heat,
yeah,
and for our crowds and for our charitable enterprise here, do you want to make it a meat grinder and nobody have fun watching? And somebody go, I went out there last year and all I saw was a bunch of pars and a couple bogeys.
Yeah, and nobody
I didn't
likes
sell
that.
tickets.
No. People want to see the aces on 14 and birdies and stuff like that. And so it's been fun. And you mentioned the heat. I mean, I followed 2 groups today. I saw one group from about 12 until they finished on 18, and then started with another group on 1 and watched them till about 8, and then I had to come over here. And I mean, you're seeing those guys go for the coolers, and we've got coolers on every single hole. You're seeing them going to the water every about 2 holes, and they're going and because it's just so hot, and those guys trying to remain cool, and so. I'm curious. I have not looked at the weather to see what it looks like for tomorrow.
It's mostly up in the afternoon.
Yeah, it definitely looks like high of 93 tomorrow. We mentioned that rain looks like in the morning around 7 or 8 in the morning, I would say. Then they'll try to get these, the course right before those guys get out here, and you're looking at a high of 93 tomorrow, so it'll definitely be cooler tomorrow, low of 75, and then you're seeing about the same thing on Sunday. So I think the weather's going to be a whole lot better tomorrow and Sunday, and I'm hoping, because Brett, I was surprised of the crowd today out here on a Friday, some really, really good crowds. And I think you'll see even better tomorrow and Sunday with it being just a little more cool out here.
And you realize today is the last Friday that we don't have college football tomorrow until Friday, January 17th, as we're waiting for the Monday night college football playoff national championship on Monday night, January 20th.
That's incredible.
All the way through now.
Yeah, Brad, I think I can get through one more weekend.
I think we got it.
I think, if I've made it this far,
Brian, I would ask you, 8 days ago. Well, 8 days ago was August 8th. That was last Thursday.
Yeah,
we're 8 days from now.
Yeah,
tomorrow's a week out. A week ago was last Saturday.
Sure, yeah. So what were you doing last Saturday? Yeah, no, it's really easy. I remember when we were saying, 17 days ago, 18 days ago, we were at this, we were doing the SEC Media Days. And so, no, it's gone by fast. I know.
Media Days 10 minutes ago?
It feels like. I feel like just yesterday we were doing a round table with Rob Fisher and Richard Cross. But no, it's here, and you're going to see a lot next week. A lot of our shows have already been talking about college football, but you're going to see, nationally, it's going to be a lot of college football.
ESPN has discovered they're the home of college football.
They got to figure out how many days are left. I heard it was a little bit of a surprise to some of those guys up there that college football was only 10 days away.
I'm glad they're counting next Saturday. One year, they didn't count week 0. Now they have to count it because they're sending game day to Dublin.
Yeah, but we've been there before where people want to try to act like week 0 is not a thing. Hey, if football is on out there, I don't care who's playing. And we've got good matchups this year on week 0.
I think a great quarterback matchup next Saturday with Haynes King and DJU.
Yeah, and definitely a lot of people here locally are going to be watching that, try to scout Florida State for, a few weeks after that when the Tigers will see them. So, and then, of course, a lot of Tiger fans still big fans of Mike Norvell after what he did here with Memphis. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And
I don't want FSU scratched up next week.
No.
I want them undefeated in Tallahassee.
I want them
to look overlooking
great.
Memphis.
Yes, I want them to look great in Dublin against Georgia Tech. But it's going to be fun. This weekend will be fun as well. We'll, a lot of preseason NFL football, a lot of baseball. So it'll be a lot to keep up with. Being out here and watching this golf will be a whole lot of fun as well. But we need to go ahead and get to our final break of the day. And when we come back, we'll wrap up today's show with Crunch Time.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to real sports talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You are
someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Sunrise Super Summer Sale at Sunrise Buick GMC at Wolf Chase. Get up to $11,000 off MSRP with royalty on your new loaded 24 Sierra 1500. Or choose new GMC Sierra 2500 heavy duty at $7,000 off MSRP. Sunrise Buick GMC at Wolf Chase. We are professional brands.
Does not include licensing costs, registration fees, taxes, and dealer dock fee of $899.50, which are to be paid by the consumer. Light duty RG $245,378 in transit. MSRP $90,475. Dealer discount $57.50. Factory rebate $27.50. Loyalty $2,500. Must own 2010 or newer Buick or GMC vehicle. Heavy duty RF $381,279 in transit. MSRP $97,330. Dealer discount $7,000. Expires 9/3/24.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
They can't get that Central Barbecue location on Central back open soon enough.
It's still going to be a little while. They do things right at Central Barbecue. That's why every location is so unique.
I know, but there's a lot of different Central Barbecue locations. But I miss the OG, the Central Barbecue on Central.
You know, it's going to be completely different.
Well, not completely.
Yeah, when the Central Barbecue location on Central reopens, it'll be bigger, nicer, more streamlined.
But still on Central.
That's about the only thing. For the time being, until they tell us different, you can't go wrong with any of the Central Barbecue locations.
You know, I think we've broken a record for saying Central Barbecue the most times in a Central Barbecue commercial.
Are you looking to save on gas? Well, we got it covered at Gossett Kia on the Pike with 41 MPG Highway and your new 2024 Kia Forte LXS. $199 a month, $37.99 to its signing. Or how about a 2024 Kia EV9 Lite with 0% APR available for 48 months? Or get 304 EPA estimated range for $389 a month, $49.99 to its signing. All 24-month lease. Plus, you always get peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Call Bobby J. He's ready to put you in your new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike, or online 24/7, 365 at KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Acquisition fee $20,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE 794,066, MSRP 21,820. EV9 R60 29,603, MSRP 61,035. Lease terms include all rebates and incentives, and PF 695 includes tax, title, license, registration, and fees. Must finance through Hyundai with approved credit, valid through 8/31/24. Dealer stock only.
Keep it twisted all year long with a Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Twisted Tea is real iced tea to pack to punch with 5% alcohol. Tastes great at the beach, the mountains, or even in the backyard. Look for the bright yellow Twisted Tea flavors. Responsibly. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Brian Davis.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started, so.
Spanning the globe.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskins.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
Well, Brett, what I learned today is that it's a lot of good scores out here at TPC Southwind. Round 2 of the FedEx St. Jude Championship is not only a lot of birdies, it's a lot of people out here. I thought a really good crowd for a Friday afternoon, especially with the heat, with it being a weekday. Thought a really good turnout. I'm really excited to see what it looks like tomorrow and Sunday in terms of crowds and in terms of play. Another reminder, it's going to look a little different tomorrow. We're having a later start time. The gates are going to open a little bit after 9. Those first tee times are going to be about 9:45. We're going to do split tees. So it's going to be a little different tomorrow, and so plan accordingly if you're planning on coming out here, but it should be an unbelievable weekend of golf. There's a reason that this tournament is the first event of the playoffs, such a good event every single year, and I'm excited to see what's in store over the weekend for these guys.
What I learned today, Brian, it just feels so good for everybody to come by the table and tell us, hey, thanks, we listen to everybody. No, don't thank us. We thank you.
Absolutely.
And all the people out on the golf course, so kind to both of us, complimentary of us, complimentary of our station. Thank you so much. Every year out here, at SEC Media Days, it's not a home game. I'm not there.
Right.
To get here and to get that, to get the opposite of what we sometimes get on Twitter. Out here, everybody just so very kind about us and what we're trying to do, and it is very appreciated.
Absolutely. Well, that and on top of that, the people coming over talking to us and want to talk football. I mean, the excitement's in the air for college football. Is
number one ranked player according to ESPN this morning, James Pierce, the Tennessee defensive end.
Interesting. That's a good one. I think he's going to have a big season for the Vols. Brett, what I could have done without today, I just saw this come down within the last couple of hours. Alex Verdugo went to an allergist, and after being examined by the allergist, Alex Verdugo was informed he is allergic to 2 chemicals in his batting gloves. And he's been wearing these batting gloves for at least the last 3 years. He's allergic to them, and it also
Baseball
says
players.
Perhaps
Wow.
something in the ink used for his tattoos as well. And as you know, Brett,
it all mixed together.
He's double sleeves. So definitely weird story and news for Alex Verdugo.
It's the Seinfeld skit. Baseball players, they need 2 months, 60-day DL from heat rash, while NFL players are out there with a limb barely hanging on.
That's right.
Allergic to his batting gloves.
How about
Okay. Could have done without that ESPN college football ranking of the top 100 players that omitted Seth Hennigan. No way he's not in the top 100. Had Miller Moss with that one start as number 91. It was very defensive heavy at the top of the list and the most offensive era ever. But Seth Hennigan, I hope that's just more motivation for him. There's no way he's not a top 100 player.
No, not at all. And I think it's, a lot of that, the fact that he's playing in the group of 5 and the fact that, he's playing at Memphis and, it's just, and maybe another reason is Seth Hennigan is not a flashy player. He just goes out there and gets the job done. He goes out there and just throws passes. He's not a guy that's going to be out there running around and, making plays or, just, throwing 80-yard darts. He's just a very consistent.
I'd rather have him than Miller Moss.
Exactly. And so I think a lot of that goes into play. But, hey, I know Seth, doesn't care about these rankings. He's just going to go out there.
I wonder if he even knows.
He probably doesn't. I know he was out here earlier
Is that right?
today, I believe.
And the basketball team will be here tomorrow.
That's correct, on 14. So he was out there. I think a couple other guys from the football team were out there signing autographs. I didn't see it. I saw it on Twitter. So I wasn't able to go over there and see them. Like you said, tomorrow a lot of the members of the basketball team will be out here signing autographs, I believe, in the afternoon. So you can come and get autographs. I think they're taking pictures as well, so you can do all of that. Should be a lot of fun with those guys. Where are you being this weekend?
TPC Southwind, where on Sunday someone will be the champion, and 50 players will be headed to Castle Rock. 50 players and about a 40-degree drop from Memphis when they go to Colorado next week.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Be me right back here for all of the action over the weekend. And I think you're absolutely right, Brett. You've nailed it ever since we've gotten here. I think the biggest story here is that story within the story of getting to that top 50.
I like the drama.
I do too. And, there's a lot of guys around there. What can they do over
I'm ready
these
to see
next
when
2
those
days?
guys say to heck with it.
Exactly, and just let it fly. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Yes, we're going to have a champion crowned on Sunday, and that will be really fun to watch. But for a lot of these guys, it's make or break over these next 2 days on if their season continues after Sunday.
No preseason football games tonight. 13 on Saturday. 2 on Sunday. Let's see how many quarterbacks play this weekend. I will keep up with it. 90 last weekend. 7 last night. 3 for Philly, 4 for New England. They were all pretty average. 13 Eagles with a reception. 13 different Eagles with a reception last night. Everyone played except for the key players I mentioned with Bruce Marshall. The best baseball series this weekend. Cleveland at Milwaukee. Both will win their respective Central divisions, one in the American League and one in the National League.
Yeah, a lot of good action over the weekend. You mentioned the preseason football, Major League Baseball, all the action out here at TPC Southwind. But that's all the time we have for this week. Thank you again to all of our great sponsors. We appreciate you more than you can even imagine. But enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk to you again Monday afternoon.